Tabletop RPG Super-Stream. This is an annual fundraiser this year for the Transgender Legal Defense and Education Fund. We are playing a full day of superhero-themed TTRPGs. I've gathered some of my favorite people to come play games with me on camera, and now we are playing them for you. And so we are raising money for a good cause. You can find links in the chat. You can find links around us on screen. There should be a QR code to donate. There should be some incentives and stretch goals and all of that good stuff. I am Jeff Stormer. I am your host for the day. You have probably heard a great deal of me by now, but my pronouns are he and his. I'm a podcaster and game designer, and I am excited to be playing some games with my good friends. And I have two of my very good friends right now for what is actually a continuation of an ongoing Superman game that we have been playing over on Manapot Studios Flights of Fandom. I guess like a year now?
I think
Been
so.
a while.
Oh my God, has it actually been a year?
I feel like very possibly. I'm trying to remember when the first one we did was, but
oh, time keeps moving.
oh, it really truly does. It really, really does. But before we
I'm
kick
looking
things-
at timestamps, and it was 2021.
No, it was
no,
not.
it was not.
Oh God, no.
oh no.
Yep.
Well,
September
Oh
2021.
my God.
okay, so we're coming up on 2 years, so it's still about a year and a half ago. Anyway, we've been playing this game for a long time. This will be our third session of the ongoing adventures of Superman, and I could not be happier to be sitting down with my good friends. Why don't you take a turn and introduce yourself, give your name, pronouns, anything you would like the audience to know about. I will go clockwise from me in the Zoom window. Puja, go ahead and introduce yourself to our lovely audience at home.
Hello, lovely audience at home. I am Puja. You can find me on the hell site that is Twitter at Puja, and Pujabberwocky on all other platforms, including Twitch and Instagram and wherever else I may be lurking. And my pronouns are she, her, and I'm very excited.
I'm so excited. Every time we've gotten to play this game, this fucking rules, and I've been so excited about it. Marcy, go ahead and introduce yourself to our lovely audience at home.
Cool. I'm Marcy, aka Experimental Madness, which is the username. You can find me most places around the internet. You can mostly find me hanging around Manapot Studios. I do a lot of shows on there. I'm also a writer and an editor and a lifelong Superman fan who is so psyched to be able to take another turn at this amazing game.
I love it. Yeah, so we are playing Anyone Can Wear the Mask. It is a game that I wrote in 2020. It is a hack of the game Beyond the Rift. It is a role-playing game for 3 players about a hero, a villain, and the city that they share. We are going to draw some cards, and we are going to roll some dice, and we are going to tell a story about a hero defending their city from all kinds of terrible things. Ultimately, a villain will emerge. That villain will ultimately be defeated. It will get a little bit heavy and emotional as we go, but it's going to be a great time, and I'm really excited. My friends, are you ready? I guess we should talk a little bit about like who we are playing and what has occurred so far. So why don't we go the exact same order? Puja, who are you playing today?
I'm playing the one, the only, the wonderful Superman. None of those things are true, except the fact that I'm playing Superman.
And Marcy, who are you playing?
I'm playing the city, so I am everyone in Metropolis.
Great.
All of them at the same time.
At the same time.
At the same time. And I am playing the villain. I'm going to put our Superman through some extraordinary threats. Building off of the stories that we have told so far, I'm going in a real specific direction. I've got some specific notes in mind. But before we do that, we should sit down and really like map out. I guess here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you my little bit of a preamble, and then we'll kind of map out some neighborhoods and districts. And then we'll kick things off. Every city in Anyone Can Wear the Mask is made up of 4 neighborhoods. Those neighborhoods are represented by the suits of a deck of playing cards. And then we will kind of decide where Superman's strong suit is, like where they are most comfortable. And I will draft up a list of threats to throw at Superman that correspond with the numbers on a deck of playing cards. My preamble is epilogue. There came a time when the old gods died. And with that, let's make our neighborhood.
Wow.
That's scary, but also here's my question.
Yeah.
Do we want to use our old neighborhoods?
Yes. Do we have those
Because
Do
written
I
you
have my
down?
have
notes.
those?
I
Oh my
do.
god, the MVP.
Puja, the reason that I gave that whole spiel was because I did not have them written down and was like, I can't go scramble to try and find them right now. Like, so, legitimately, yes, I think that would be fantastic.
Here's the secret. Keep all your PDFs in one place, all your game PDFs in one place on your iPad, and it just saves all of your scribbles on it.
Mine's just everywhere.
Yeah. So
Organized chaos.
neighborhoods. All right. We have, and I don't know, I also do have the suits associated with them, whether or not we want to use them. We have the South Side Slums, which is the suit Hearts. We have Centennial Park, which is Diamonds. We have Queensland Park, which is the suit of Clubs. And then we have New Troy, which is the Spades suit.
And what was clubs?
Clubs was Queensland Park. And then I had asterisks there because maybe that's where Superman hangs out. I don't know.
Well, for this, like, so I guess let's talk a little bit about what has unfolded in previous installments. And then we can kind of decide if we want to, what neighborhood we want to ground Superman in, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Alrighty.
So, in previous episodes, we met a young Superman, a rising star in the city of Metropolis, defender of the city, who eventually confronted Lex Luthor, and as well as stopped a giant gorilla, which I distinctly remember was a thing from our first session. In doing so, rallied the people of Metropolis into a state of active defense against the rising fascist influence of Lex Luthor, eventually toppled Luthor's influence, bringing the city to turn over a new leaf and start a new era. And then things went wild from there, and most notably, Doomsday showed up and got plunged into the earth, if I'm not mistaken, and blasted with heat vision, and has been buried at the core of the earth. Is there anything important note-wise that I am missing?
What was the big reveal for Soups at the end of episode 1?
At end of episode 1, I think episode 1 ended with the reveal that it was good that the Doomsday initiative had been activated. And then issued.
I can't remember. Did Superman discover heat vision then?
Our Superman started flying in the first episode and then discovered heat vision in the second episode.
In the second, okay, yeah. I was like, I know that there have been like reveals of power because he started with a baby up and comer.
Yeah, so I think Superman's pretty much got the whole kit and caboodle at this point. But you know, Superman is known for one thing: it's developing new powers on the fly. So we'll see how that goes.
It's true.
But then at the end of the second episode, we saw a glimpse of an underground laboratory. I think it was underneath New Troy, where some scientists were researching, and then all of their computers went red and lit up with an Omega symbol.
Oh, that's
right.
Things in Metropolis are about to get chaotic real quickly. So I guess, and this is my question for you, Puja, is like, of our 4 neighborhoods, so the South Side Slums, which are very much the working class tenement district. These are big apartment buildings. These are working class folks. Centennial Park, which is the big Central Park area. It is also, I believe, where weird science stuff hangs out. New Troy, which is the uber downtown Luthorville, big shining silver buildings. And Queensland is Queensland Park or Centennial Park? Was that was one of those was
the asterisk one in my notes is Queensland Park.
One of those was like the historic district.
Yes.
I think, and
like
that's where we ended up. And I think
Yeah.
that's where we picked Queensland Park to ground our story.
Queensland Park is the historical district. That is old buildings. That is, I imagine, also where the waterfront is. It has been a little while. Superman has continued to grow, has struck up a friendship with a cape and cowled weirdo from across the river in Gotham. What neighborhood does Superman spend his time in? What's Superman's home base?
think Superman's home base is still Queensland Park.
Okay.
You know, he's just I think he likes to stay true to his what feels like home.
Okay.
And having been here for a little bit, Queensland Park, like he's not gonna up and move just because things are kind of on the rise. That's not his style.
All right. And so,
Plus,
as
he knows
we
like the corner shop owners and like
right.
had like he walks into the coffee shop and they know his order. Like that's
Yeah,
you're not gonna leave
never
that.
move once that's been established.
No.
And so, what's of the other two neighborhoods? What's the other neighborhood Superman at this moment feels the most comfortable in?
I believe we established that the Daily Planet is in New Troy.
Okay.
So, or wherever the Daily Planet is, that's work, right? And so that's also.
I think we
All
did
right.
say that because we like set that as our main downtown.
That
Yeah.
feels good. That feels good.
So,
All right.
where work and wait, important question: where did things get left off with Lois?
So how
Uh,
long has it been?
How long has
Has
it
it been
been?
like a year or a couple months?
Well, I can tell you out of character how long it's been.
I mean, out of character, I know how long it's been, but
Out of character, episode 2 was. Oh no.
I want to say April 2022, maybe.
yeah.
January 2022.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. It's been a little while.
Mm-hmm.
So how has the I guess I'm gonna throw this question to the two of you. How has the last year been between Lois and Clark?
Have they started dating? Like
That is the question. I don't
Clark and
remember how we
Lois
left
started
it.
dating, but Lois doesn't know about the Superman thing yet.
Well, if I may help update this for, modern culture, is Lois fully into relationships right now?
um Probably. I mean, I think that it's much more likely that they're like Clark and Lois are getting close to maybe admitting that they're dating, but there's nothing official yet. So she's not, there's no cheating happening here.
No. I was saying in terms of a poly situation, is Lois actively into relationships and openly talking about
I
it?
think I like to play it more as there's no official relationship of any kind yet. So it's just more that she hasn't. Okay, this could be funny. Has Clark ever actually gotten over the shyness and asked Lois out? And has Lois ever gotten over her shyness to actually admit to Superman that she has a crush? Because like we have like this little triangle of no one is saying anything.
Yeah,
and
that's
if no
great.
one says anything, then like they can stay in this cool nebulous, like we're still cool friends, all of us, aren't we?
So
Or
I think
using it as a joke, like that'd be cool if we like got a drink.
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding.
It's like, so I think where we are is maybe Lois and Clark are at the point where, it's they kind of hope they get assignments that require them to like burn the midnight oil together because they can do it, they can hang out and like order and take out while working. They've got that like they're definitely work spouses.
Absolutely.
Like everything goes to the other person, but neither of them has said anything or made a move. And I think when it comes to Superman, I think Superman, of course, being the version of Clark that can, while being very straight-laced, I think it's a little bit more flirty and is a little bit more forthcoming. And
we definitely established that in our little epilogue.
And I think there's a bit of like Clark being like, oh, Lois seems to react well to that, so I'm not going to ask her out because that's not who I am as Clark. But
so they're in their idiot phase.
They are very much in their idiot phase.
I love this for them.
Because Clark Soups gets to say the stuff Clark can't. Aha! See what I did there?
Yep, I like that. I really like that a lot. All right. Okay, so my final question for you, Puja. We have one final decision to make. It has been a little while. It's been about a year. And so I think it's important to revisit this question and decide where we want it to live. what is Superman's role in helping the city? Is he the shield of the people protecting them so they can thrive, the icon they look to for inspiration, the smiling face and a friend to those who need it, or the dark knight that avenges the injustice that they suffer?
So in the past, I think both sessions we've stuck with the clubs and Superman being the shield of the people, protecting them so they can thrive. And while I do think there is probably a little bit of a sneak into diamonds,
Mm-hmm.
I still think that, which is you'll be the icon that they can look up to for inspiration. I think Superman sees himself as still being that shield.
Okay.
He
This is
doesn't
good.
see himself as an icon, even if other people do.
I like that. I really like that a lot. Okay, great. Good. Then with that, we will draw our first card. I am just writing down a few things. I'm throwing a few notes onto my little list of I have a list here from numbers 2 to 10 for our number cards and a deck of cards that I'm writing down villains to associate with those numbers. I've left a couple blank spots. I have a beautiful sweet baby girl who has just appeared in my room.
Aw.
I have a few blank spaces on that list. I've got a few threats written in. I have a list of names that I will be pulling from. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and draw our first card.
Well, before you do that, I do need to point out the scariest part of my notes, which is above the villain. I just wrote the word all.
Oh no, invasion.
I do think you were like, which version of a villain do you want or something? And we went with all. And so it just says all on top of it. So I'm kind of scared.
Sorry, your
That's
cat wants to be
great.
the star of the show.
She always
She
wants to
is
be
the
the star.
star of
I
the
mean,
show,
she
though.
is. Like, I recognize that I forever playing second fiddle. We are this is technically a pre-recorded stream, so we don't know what the chat is saying at this moment, but I have accepted that I have given up first string status. I think we all have at this moment, and the chat is probably talking about one thing and one thing alone.
Yeah. As they should.
All right. I'm going to draw our first card. Okay, cool. Love it. Our first card is the Queen of Diamonds.
Ooh.
Got some Scarlet Witch art, which is legally distinct from the universe that we're playing around in.
What does
Queen's
the card say?
The card says, "Get out! Leave me alone! I'm fine, I tell you. I'm just fine at last. I should be if you'd stop bothering me."
That's the most Wanda Maximoff line ever.
And we are queens bring us somewhere peaceful. These are places or somewhere personal. Queens bring us somewhere personal. The hero has a responsibility, but also a life of their own. There is a person behind the mask, and that person has friends, loved ones, people that can count on them. At this moment, you find yourself in one of those moments with someone you care about, someone who knows the real you, and a diamond. Marcy, who are we spending time with that is connected to Superman's professional life? Or Clark Kent's professional life, more accurately?
Well, it's got to be Lois, right?
That feels good. That does feel good.
If we're going professional.
Yeah.
We have a mix of the professional and the personal.
There's nothing in the rules. There's nothing in the rules that says if we draw multiple queens, Lois can't come up in multiple contexts.
It's true.
We'll find a way for Lois to come up in every context.
That's true.
We have an agenda.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, spoiler alert, we soft.
You know what? If you're not playing this game with an agenda, then what are you doing? If you're not playing this game because you're like, this character, I need to ship my superhero with certain characters, then
but also,
as designer of the game, I'm saying you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, come on. Everyone's watching it. Like, if you are watching a Superman show or stream of any kind and you don't want as much of Superman and Lois as possible, I don't want to know you.
Yeah, you're doing it wrong. It's the same thing. It's like, if Dick Grayson were to roll in, like, Babs better be around the corner or else I'm gonna throw fists.
Oh, you're a Babs and
I'm a
Dick
and Babs girl.
Oh,
they were so cute when they were little.
They were. I'm agnostic when it comes to his ships.
I mean, to be fair, it's also self-selective because I liked that because I like Babs independently and then I love Dick. and I started shipping them, and then I only read their storylines, so I kind of just ignored everybody else. So
That's the way to do it when you have a ship in comics. You just ignore any other story arc that's occurring around
there's
the
too
other ship.
many. There's too
And you
many.
pretend it doesn't exist. It's choose your own canon.
It is,
Full-
comics are choose your own adventure.
That's true. That's true. Full disclosure, my number one Dick Grayson ship is Midnighter as the one as the person that can break through Dick Grayson's face blurring technology because he recognizes his ass.
Wow. I love that, actually.
It's a genuinely important moment in comic book history that means a lot to me, that it happened on screen, that you see it, and that it's an official canon detail. Great.
So after all of this is done, I'm gonna need some information about that issue, just because like I need to be there to see it.
For
Like,
research. Right?
I will share it. I will share it with you in the Discord chat.
Dick Grayson, the original American.
God, we could just do a whole stream that's just us talking about comic book ships.
We truly could. All right. So where is this moment between Clark and Lois happening?
So because it is somewhere personal, I like it being maybe that situation we talked about where Clark and Lois, that's a different ship. Clark and Lois are working late, and I think this has officially skirted over from professional hours to personal hours. Like maybe they wrapped up a big project and they're just grabbing some takeout and I don't know, like sitting on the ground in a meeting room because they've been stuck in chairs for so long and just, going at it with takeout. I just picture lots of empty takeout Chinese food containers around them.
I'm picturing Lois like lying on the floor because she's been shrimping for the past like 6 hours, but she has her laptop now. She's doing that thing where like she puts her knees up and she's bouncing the laptop, but it's like unhealthily close to her face. It's practically falling on
T-Rex
her
arms.
It's not any better for her back. It just feels slightly better in the moment.
Yeah,
That's
and
great.
I think Clark is deeply uncomfortable making himself slouch to match the vibe.
Yeah. Stuff that has been happening in Metropolis lately, that I think Lois and Clark would be aware of. I'm using this as a foreshadowing opportunity. There has been a tremendous amount there have been a lot of incidences of break-ins to various laboratory, like science development facilities coordinated by an organized crime outfit known as Intergang. Those scientific weapons have been hitting the streets. Various old Superman villains have shown up augmented with strange bizarre pieces of technology. It's been kind of a weird and chaotic time in the city of Metropolis. That's the overall vibe of what's going on the streets at this moment. So like, I guess what are Clark and Lois chatting about?
What have we just finished reporting on? Or wrapping up our report on?
Oh man, I just had a brainwave.
Do it. Let's do it.
So I think that they're concluding a report about this influx of weapons technology, and they're trying to track it to its source. This article was not about that. This article was sort of discussing the impact it's having on the city overall, like witness statements, maybe a recent crime. Because I think Lois has plans for later to take some of the leads that she got from this article and maybe do something incredibly awesome and stupid, which is to try and track one of the leads to where one of the Intergang shipments might be coming from.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. Because she needs to get that next Pulitzer.
I mean, that's totally fair. And Clark Kent has not been having the exact same thoughts of doing the same thing in his own time.
That's incredible.
This is why they always, this always happens. They find leads and it's like surprise running into you here.
Okay, I wonder if in that case Lois is actually talking about it, but Clark is trying to dissuade her from doing that because
100%.
It's going to do it because he's also Superman.
Yeah.
And then Lois is still going to show up anyway, because if you do not tell this woman what not to do, if you say, hey, Lois, you probably shouldn't do that, it's going to be like, I'm definitely going to do it.
I feel like maybe Clark knows Lois well enough to be like, let's just hold off a little bit. Let's see what happens when this article gets out.
Do a little reverse psychology on her.
It's like, let's just wait. Let's just wait. There's no rush. They're not going anywhere. And then, of course, because he plans on going that night. That night.
Yeah. Lois heard all that. I think she's still like editing the article that she refuses to put down. God forbid she puts spell check on.
Nice.
And is sort of nodding in agreement, but at the same time is like definitely going tonight now for sure.
So, I would actually love to. This is a very good segue to I flipped our next card, and I had a blank space on my list of threats, and I would love to slot in alien weapons arms deal is what I'm slotting in for. And so I want to ask, this is the Two of Hearts. Two of Hearts is the South Side slums. So I want to ask the way that an average turn plays out, the way that a number card plays out in Anyone Can Wear the Mask, is we begin by introducing a location and some people in that place. This is a city. There are people that live in that city. So Marcy is the city. You will introduce a place and the people that live there. I will then put that place in danger. We already kind of have an idea of how that is going to happen. And then I'm going to roll some dice, and our hero is going to hopefully save the day and see who they can save along the way. So Marcy, I am going to ask you, and I'm going to foreshadow, we're going to invert that a little bit by asking, where is this deal expected to go down later tonight? Like there has been a break-in. There is Lois has gotten a lead on like where a weapons handoff is going to happen. It is one of these very comic book generators that can very easily be turned into a laser cannon.
Beautiful.
Somehow people in Metropolis have not put any thought into maybe we shouldn't make our things easily repurposed into a laser cannon.
I wonder about that every time I read an issue of comics where I'm like, wow, there's so many aspects of technology that apparently if you just take this one power core, you can do anything with it. So versatile.
Listen, it's basic. Everybody just wants all technology to be Swiss Army knives.
Right.
It's true.
This is the only world in which we can do that.
And listen, I say this as a writer who doesn't want to research everything all the time. It's fuck it. This thing plugs into that. It does this now.
Yeah, it works. It's great.
Don't ask me how it works.
Fight me.
Yeah.
So where's the deal going down?
Okay, I think it's in the back of one of those, like around most cities, there are these amazing just repair places for all of your tech. Because fuck Apple. And then you can't repair anything unless you go to the Apple store and spend $1 bajillion. I think it's
sue them.
Right. I think it's in the back, back in basement where there's also a black market operation going on. And I think like the initial market down there wasn't part of Intergang, but it's been taken over. It's been co-opted by them. So of all of the tech black markets in Metropolis that used to be like independently run, probably by some of the gangs in Gotham that are shipping their stuff into Metropolis. And now that business has been completely co-opted.
Okay. So I think that what has happened is local mob boss I think that what we get is like it is this back room. It is a suspiciously small front room that opens up into like a large expansive back room. Like there's like false walls, and outside like the building is constructed in one of those in a way that like you would think it was made up of other buildings. Specifically so that when you go through like a particular back wall, there's like an expansive room, and that's where like the market is happening.
Yeah.
And at this moment, how busy is it at this moment when a black car pulls up Several people carrying a box very, very gingerly step out, and they start moving it towards, they position it in the middle of the room, and several people start gathering around to effectively bid on it. This is a highest bidder auction for a particular like power core that has particular applications if used in just such a way.
I don't think it's busy at all. I think this is after hours. I think if we're timing it at the same time of what's going on in the Daily Planet, maybe it's like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So most of the typical customers are gone. However, it's Metropolis. So I mean the city itself is still quite busy. And I think people on the street or in the neighborhood have noticed this. But there aren't any, the store itself is closed for the day.
So we see them drop this core off, and I think actually it's only one group that steps up the like buy it. It is one specific person. What I've written down on my threat sheet.
I can't wait.
And what I think this is the power core is the power core, and like this mob boss Bruno Mannheim steps out. Every mob boss you've ever seen on television. This is a character actor getting some well-deserved work. Steps out.
It's Clancy Brown.
It's gotta be Clancy Brown, right? There's Clancy Brown energy. Steps out, kind of like hands behind his back, kind of like I think he's specifically like he's got those like stress marbles, the ones that you twist between your fingers, because I love when somebody has a good stress quirk. Is spinning them between his fingers, walks out, and facing him is a man in a full theatrical card game jester outfit who is delighted to see a power core of incredibly destructive power, because this can power so many of my wonderful toys.
Oh my God, Jeff.
Beautiful.
What is it? So that's the threat. The threat is that if this deal goes off, then noted assassin and the just general villain. Toyman's one of those villains that sort of just seems like he's doing jerk shit for the sake of it.
He's just a little guy. He's just a little dude.
He's just a funky little dude. It seems like he will be able to cause some real chaos if he gets a hold of this particular power core. However, it's also a highly energized power core, and if that goes wrong, it could blow up this building and maybe the buildings around it.
Sick. I mean, that sounds terrible.
Where do we see Lois? Where do we see Lois as this is unfolding?
You said that there were people that were coming in to bid on this?
I think it is. I think that it is. If it is quiet, you know what? We're gonna push this even further and say yes. We see Toyman. Who else I'm gonna say Toyman is here. There's a guy in a little green tweed suit. The Trickster is also here.
Oh my God.
I think it's amazing. The two of them are in a bidding war against each other, despite the fact that their shtick is basically the same, and they're like, no, I want to use it for toy helicopters that drop bombs. I want to use it for whoopee cushions that spread knockout gas. And it's
amazing.
Like they both like it's these nonsensical things that like barely require a power core to them, and they're just furiously arguing. And I think Lois, from wherever she is sitting, can clearly pick up on the fact that like this is going to turn into a fight very, very quickly.
Lois is 100% disguised as one of the participants in the bidding.
Oh, fantastic.
So she's like actually there and is actually placing bets with money she doesn't have.
Fantastic. Bruno is delighted. Bruno is watching the bids go up and is just absolutely tickled. And I think that like Lois, as you are driving up the bid, everything is going great. I think that what happens is maybe like I'm going to propose that Lois throws out a number. Toyman gets too angry, and Lois has to jump out of the way of like a spray of an acid flower off of the Jester's outfit, which causes the full-on fist fight, which is when Superman has got to step in.
Yeah.
Can Lois get at least one smack in with like the bidding paddle
Oh, for sure. Which
Thank you.
do you want to take out, Toy Man
Necessary.
or the Trickster?
I mean, Toy Man, probably.
All right.
I feel like that's the one that Lois would be the most familiar with as an annoyance, as a citizen of the city.
All right. Well, then with that, there are people in danger. There is a crisis unfolding, and that is time for Superman to step in.
All
How
right.
this works is based on the neighborhood that we're in. I am going to roll somewhere between 1 to 3 dice. Because this is the South Side Slums, I am only rolling a single d6, and I'm going to roll that result, and we're going to see what we get. That is a 5. So Superman, save the day. Describe how you save the day, and describe how you look like a hero in doing it.
Superman has been floating off in the background, just watching this unfold. He wasn't planning on causing this commotion, but a commotion has ensued, and of course, Lois is in the middle of that, in danger. And so Superman swoops in, and this is one of the things he's good at. He's very, very strong. So he just comes in, and in a very comic book manner, people go flying. You don't really know what's happening. Fists are flying, people are flying, flowers are flying, suit jackets. And in all of that commotion, Superman is going to make sure that threats around Lois are just very quickly disappearing. Like anytime Lois sees like a hand coming at her out of the corner of her eye, it just never appears. As though magically pulled back. And I think this is one of those things where Soups is not trying to draw a lot of attention, because if people have enough time to realize who's in their midst, things are going to get worse. So this is a very quick and efficient, it's a quiet little day. This isn't catastrophic level fight.
The fight is taken care of. Like this is Bruno slips away in the night, but the fight gets underway. You save the day. You manage to save everybody. You save Lois. Marcy, does Lois notice that like everything going wrong around her is being quickly resolved?
Yeah, I think also she's been trying to keep her eye on the power core, and it's Bruno that brought it, right?
Yeah.
So if he got away with it, she's
I think I'm going to say I think he gets away, but the power core is still here.
Okay, well that's good. But she's lost
Superman
her
would have
lead.
thrown a person if he tried to go towards the power core, and like self-preservation could have kicked in.
I think Lois is probably outside watching the black car speed away. Great. There goes my lead.
But looks like what you were looking for is still here.
And I'm sure the suits will love to analyze it. And if they deign to give me an interview, it'll make for a great side piece. However, the man of the hour is gone.
He'll be back.
Where did he get the power core? Who gave it to him? There are a lot of questions that I would like answers for. And yes, thank you, by the way, for that assistance. I did have it under control, though.
Oh, I have no doubt. Given the hour, I just thought we could speed things up a little bit.
Well, you certainly did speed things along.
So this power core, then.
Do you know anything about it?
Not yet.
Damn it. I was hoping that I could have an interview there.
Well, I'm not the one you want to ask questions of, at least about this power core.
Well, that remains to be seen. How did you know about this little shindig?
You have your ears to the ground, I have mine.
Eyes in the sky?
Yeah, and there is a benefit to being able to see things from a high vantage point. Bird's eye view.
Well, at the very least, I can write another article about Superman coming in to save the day. Everyone loves reading those.
You don't need to do that.
I don't need to do anything, but I'm going to anyway.
Well, I'm flattered, but it's not why I do this.
Oh, it's not flattery, Flyboy. Those articles make me so much money. This is purely mercenary.
So you get what you want when you write these articles. What do I get?
The pleasure of my company, obviously. And of course, adoring fans.
One's a little more valuable than the others.
The adoring fans.
If that's what you think.
All
I'll
right.
take my leave.
Fantastic.
He just like floats off upwards.
Legitimately, one of my favorite parts of doing these is that I just get to sit back and watch and just like enjoy these moments. It makes me very happy.
Oh, well, listen, we talked very early on that we're in our idiot era.
This is full-blown idiocy.
This is
dummies.
this
They're just
is.
dummies.
In their early 20s.
Oh.
Whatever.
Also,
Sometime,
you know.
Listen, I'm never
later.
not out of my idiot era, and I'm in my 30s.
Who truly is, honestly.
Nobody.
So, sometime later, we find ourselves in New Troy. Marcy,
Yes.
we find ourselves in a bright, shining glass tower that is shaped like a very ostentatious and like poorly architecturally designed L. Formerly Luthor Corp, but has been taken over by the only other business that would buy a building that was shaped like a giant L and stick with it. What does the scene look like at Lord Industries as this is unfolding? What is the like? This is a big elaborate tech and finance company. Lord Industries, owned by industrialist Maxwell Lord, has taken over Luthor's building now that Luthor is twice in prison for repeated attempted fascist takeovers of the world. What is the scene there as crisis hits?
Disorganized, absolute chaos. I hate that dude so much, so I'm just going to be horrible.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
I think that Maxwell, Max, one of those people that thinks he's very, 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 very smart, and he's not. And since I don't have anyone in real life to base him off of, I'm just going to loosely base this off of Elon Musk. I know that's so shocking, right?
That seems fair.
I'm shocked and horrified.
I know. Listen, comic book villains were supposed to be a warning, not a guidebook, and here we are. Regardless of that, I think that there's maybe been a round of layoffs, so most of the people that would maybe be key to solving a kind of tech crisis aren't in the building anymore. And it's mostly full of interns or people that are already doing too many jobs. And some people have just given up. They're walking out. They do not get paid enough for this. Fair. And it's not worth it.
God,
I hate him so much.
We see this building full of half empty desks and half people just running around with papers in their hands. There is a scene between two employees where they are talking, they have coffee and they are griping, and at that moment we hear the shattering of glass, the smashing of machinery. It is the sound of just things being crushed and shattered, and there is the like what almost sounds like an explosion in the lobby, and these two employees just look at each other.
I don't get paid enough for this. There's no hazard pay here. I don't know about you, but I'm out. I'm done.
Wednesday, am I right?
There are two types of employees.
In the lobby, I think we see a receptionist quietly get up and leave as there is a gigantic, colossal alien, big, giant, furry, brute, bear-like alien smashing things with like a futuristic mechanical mallet and screaming, "Bring me the warrior from Krypton! Bring Calabac your finest! I The true Lord of Apocalypse shall strike down Earth's champion. Bring them to me! Here, at the base of your Earth's commander. You shall bring your champion to me and watch them broken on my knee.
I feel like there's this person that's just still by the water cooler. Like, I don't know how to get them on speed dial.
Is that something we
Dude.
can? Is that something we can do?
It's not in my job description.
I mainly manage the Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know if
like I mean I do graphic design work. I don't know how to deal with interplanetary demands.
Could we make a Canva template maybe? Is that a thing we could do? Would that get Superman? Does he
I could
respond
send
to...
out like a MailChimp, like just a blast to everyone on our newsletter and see who responds to it.
I think it's Snail Chimp.
Do you need a snail chimp? Do you need a snail chimp email? Will that help? And I think there's just a filing cabinet swung by both of our heads. Just
oh, geez. Man, I mean, that's a one-way ticket to HR right there.
Look, I'm gonna go get a gyro. Do you want to come get a gyro? I don't need this today.
Yeah, I think it's I think now's a good time for
We're taking our lunch break. You good luck with whatever you got going on with the hammer and the filing cabinet. We're gonna go on lunch break.
Have fun with your champion finding. Good luck. Looks like it'll be a lot of fun. Please put everything back or like talk to the janitors and they'll help you with this. But this is not for me. All right. Take it easy.
Does Superman get word that there is an alien trashing this building and demanding a challenge from the Earth's great champion?
I mean, I think people from the outside saw this slam into the building, and they're not working for. I mean, hope maybe some of them are. They don't know. A egomaniacal man, baby child, horrid little man. I'm sorry, I hate him so much.
He's genuinely the worst.
And they're having a normal reaction to this, like, oh my God, what the hell is going on?
I think I like the idea of those two like just complaining and walking out as, I don't know, Clark's in the neighborhood. This is the Southside Slums, right?
Yeah. No, this is Detroit. This is downtown. Yeah, this is not super far from the planet. This is peak downtown.
I can just so then Clark is bringing back a coffee, and oh hey, look, they messed up his order the first time. There's an extra, and I think he's just walking past one of these buildings and runs, like, he overhears the two griping as they go to their extended lunch.
These two are now like the Statler and Waldorf of Metropolis.
There are Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
They're just gonna show up everywhere and be like, not my circus, not my monkeys, not my aliens, not my problem.
I've been dealing with enough clowns from the guy at the top. I do not need some fuzzy alien throwing a filing cabinet. Our pay stubs better not have been in that filing cabinet, because if I don't get paid, I'm not coming back into work on Monday.
Lawsuit, baby.
That's right.
I appreciate this very healthy approach to capitalism. Because that's right, you don't get paid enough.
What else are you going to do if you're a random person that does like graphic design and emails when you live in Metropolis, like, or Gotham or Keystone or anywhere really? Like, at some point you just have to be like, all right, okay, I guess this is happening now.
Yeah. And I think you see, unfortunately, no, you know what? I was gonna say he's gonna flash. I was gonna do a whole thing with like the coffees going to the pavement, but no, that is not this Clark Kent. Clark will find somebody who looks like they're having a bad day on a bench.
Oh. And
give them the coffees, and then run off into the alley to change.
That's so sweet. I love Superman. We see the quick change. You are face to face with this rampaging alien who is just like swearing up and down that this is the moment that the hero of Earth, the subtle knives and trickeries have taken too long. It is time now for an open challenge. I, Calabac, do not have time for the little petty games of giving knives to soldiers and hoping that they stab in the dark. I believe in a sword in the daytime, and so my hammer shall be.
Okay. Yeah, I think Soups goes in.
All
He
right.
listens to the screeching, really. I feel like it's pretty self-guiding at that point.
This is great. I rolled 2 dice and I got a 5 and a 1, which is why rolling multiple dice is a good thing, because we only take the highest result. What does this fight scene look like? How does Superman bring down this rampaging alien? What is this big cool fight scene look like?
I think Superman at the beginning is like, it didn't have to be this way. We could have,
I think that pisses off Calabac more than anything, of hearing it didn't have to be this way. And he's like, did you miss my whole monologue earlier? Of course it has to be this way.
I mean, I'm sorry, I had other errands to run. But it's getting a little old, just pitting aliens against each other. But you wanted to fight, and there's a lot of people waiting outside, and unfortunately I get a lot of press coverage, so we got to put on a show.
Just with Wednesday Superman, who's like was also having the same kind of mood as our other dudes. That's like, really? Okay.
I think Lois is on an away assignment. And
that's it.
Yeah. And work's not fun without your work spouse.
This is true.
It's like every time he wants to make, like, he's missing her pithy remarks every time there's a meeting that should have been an email, and just sitting in the back and hearing her complain about stuff. Like, that's what makes going to capitalism worth it,
Amazing. Mm-hmm. Jeff, did the cat turn your camera off?
She did in fact turn
spectacular.
My camera off.
Amazing.
That did in fact happen.
But after that, I think if I think Soups is gonna wait for Calabac to attack, because he doesn't want to do this.
I think Calabac is kind of all offense, right? Like, I think Calabac is kind of expects this to be a quick battle, because expects himself to be the better combatant, and so it's just like all big swinging attacks that, like, is the goal is to overwhelm more than anything. So it is like a lot of different attacks happening all at once. It is a swing of the hammer, a second swing of a knee to the midsection. Like, it is doing every attack all at once, with the hope that one of them connects, because he believes that all it's going to take is one big attack to bring down the Kryptonian.
And I think in the beginning it is a little bit more intense a fight than Superman expected, or, well, honestly, not expected, but wanted. And I would say probably they are pretty well matched when it comes to just sheer physical strength. And so then Superman has to bust out the kit of his fresher powers, and you see there's a lot more flight. There's a lot more, bringing Calabac out of his element, where he's strongest, moving him away from his weapons, flinging his weapons as far as he can, and using something he doesn't use. I don't think he much likes using the heat vision, because it's destructive. But broken tables can be better, but when you do structural damage, that's a little rough.
Oh, so much on the taxpayers.
I know.
Yeah.
Looking at you, one particular movie.
We don't speak of that.
We don't speak of it. But we're already in the we're in Detroit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people around here, and I think Superman has to bust out the heat vision and start doing some overheating of metals and other fun ways to make your enemies drop their weapons.
I think there is one thing that Maxwell Lord has not been able to get rid of in the building is there is a large bronze statue of Luthor in the lobby, and we see its head get cut off with heat vision.
Yeah.
It falls over.
Can it fall over onto the desk of one of those two that went to lunch?
falls over just as they're getting back with gyros, crashes through the desk.
Well, that's work for the day.
I'm just picturing one of them like holding like a thing of lemonade, and their gyro on the other hand, just like, all right, I'm going home.
Yep, we're working from home today. I'm taking my laptop and I'm working from home if anybody's looking for me.
Oh no, the laptop, it's been destroyed. I guess I'll just go for a walk.
Just
Well,
out.
all right.
You know, there might be a moment where if only one of their computers got smacked, I think and one of them's looking like, oh man, mine's still working. It'll just start smoking from the background.
Oops is a real one.
I do. I think explicitly with lemonade and gyro in hand, walks by, just looks at Superman. You're a real one. Yeah, and Calabac is defeated. Is defeated. Blink. There is a colossal boom noise as a portal opens and Calabac is sucked through it. There are remnants of technology. There are the hints of conspiracy. Talk of knives being handed to people in the shadows. But the city is safe and Superman has done what Superman does best. Which means it is time for our next card.
Dun, 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 dun.
Our next card is the 9 of Diamonds.
What does that one say?
All right, you Moscow maniacs, come and get it. Let's see. 9 is a blank. So you know what? I'm gonna throw this over to Marcy. Where are we in? We are in Centennial Park. What's the scene here at Centennial Park? Where are we? Who's there? What's the moment? And then I'll figure out what the thread is from there.
Okay, it's June right now. So freaking I want to know, everyone. I don't want to have direct control over this. Let's all talk about what does the Metropolis Pride Parade look like, y'all? Because I want to know that.
I have to remind myself. Hold on. This is going to be an edit point.
I mean, I have thoughts about this.
I think Metropolis Pride is. Well, here's the detail that I'm going to throw out, and this is a detail that is important to me because it is a new development in the DC books that means a lot to me. A-Town is hopping. I think A-Town, which is the alien district in Metropolis, is hopping off. Like it is, because I think that like what I love as a visual is it looks what it looks like to the outside viewer. If you were to look at this, it would look like periodically like lights that are flashing and they flash and they do a twirl. It would look like periodically they turn off, but if you are planning a rainbow and your species has vision that extends in either direction and onto frequencies and energy types that are not visible to the human eye, well, you're still going to want that represented on the rainbow now, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's dope as hell.
I love that.
That's my detail is there are aliens of all shapes and sizes partying down.
And I think it's, obviously colorful as all get out, but I also think it's there. I like the idea of there being a specific area of the park in the Centennial Park area where it's also just a colored powder party. So for people who do want to just blend into one mass of color and not be as visible, and because there's the people who want to just do the standout, and there's the people who are like, this is the one day when I can just blend in and just be yet another person out there. Like there's that area. And so like depending on what you want, if you want to be loud and flashy and have your outfit noticed, like there's the dance party part of the park, then there's the other part that's just like holy and a color run on steroids, where you can't tell anything apart. All hair, all skin is the same color. And everyone's just having a great time.
Amazing.
Can I throw out one purely fan fiction moment? And this is
That's
this
pure
whole thing is fan
self-indulgence.
fiction. It's the
Chef?
point. Get like this is all self-indulgence.
This is pure fan service self-indulgence bullshit that I needed depicted.
Mwah.
Briefly on screen, there are we see a in a brown trench coat like the only way that I can describe it is hangover sunglasses. Like this is the universal outfit of hungover. Is we see a redheaded woman in universal hangover gear next to a woman in bright clown makeup. And Poison Ivy's like, Charles, I can't. This is the 6th parade that we've gone to. And Harley's like, doesn't matter. Too good. I'm not missing one of these.
Have they been like staying up for like 48 hours just hitting up every party because they're like
just,
doing a tour of Metropolis?
I don't think
they do a different city every weekend.
Oh my god, of course they do.
Yeah, Harley makes Poison Ivy go to a different parade in a different city every weekend in June and just drives around, and Poison Ivy is just angry and exhausted the whole time. I can't do this. I'm so tired.
And you know what? Because it's Pride, if any cops show up, we've got a Harley there.
No cops at Pride, just Harley Quinn in her baseball bat.
That is correct.
That is the visual. Is a hammer swinging, not a hammer. Her like wood thing.
But, yeah. So okay. So what am I doing to
say that like all of the Teen Titans are definitely there doing something to marshal the parade because this is the hill I'll die on. Nobody in the Teen Titans squad is straight.
No, you are correct.
The Teen Titans are like vampires. Nobody's a heterosexual.
Nobody is het in that tower.
Okay, so we've got the Metropolis Pride Parade is unfolding in Centennial Park, and I think I know exactly what the threat is. I've written it down. I'm putting it on the 9. And I think that it is initially nobody realizes that it's a threat. A thing unfolds because in the sandbox that I'm playing in, there's a particular sandcastle that is very fun to drop here as not an explicit act of evil, but just plain chaos. Nobody realizes that it's a threat at first. Everybody just thinks that there's a group of particularly excited partygoers until the jet bike flies into the air and knocks over like crashes through a fountain that explodes. And there is a rowdy group of space hippies going on a joyride across the park. They're not necessarily evil. Like they're not intentionally causing harm. They're just here to party and feel the love. But admittedly, their flying space bike is causing a lot of damage and
collateral damage is real
and putting people in danger. Like it is clear that like they are partying in a way, and they are peace and loving it in a way that is going to put people in danger from sheer chaotic party energy.
They're breaking the number 1 rule at Pride, which is to take care of each other.
They're not being chill is the problem.
Yeah.
All right. I guess my question then is, Clark, where are you at right now?
Well, I think Clark is probably out there just supporting people. I don't know if Lois is out here with him, but I do think it's
they're vibing.
They're vibing. They just want to be out there supporting people, and I think Clark, any gathering where people are blowing off some steam, he wants to. I think his mom instincts are coming out. He just wants to make sure everyone's being safe out there.
Oh my god, he's the Pride Dad. He comes with snacks and water bottles.
Yep. And he's a little shy to open it yet, but maybe eventually his shirt will unbutton and a free hugs shirt will come out.
Hey, I love that though. Is the thing. We're just foreshadowing, when he's gonna be there like with a big giant
With
poster
free
that says,
dad hugs.
I love my bi son.
But also, like, Clark totally would have his, like, get your dad hugs here.
Yeah, no, he's literally like, if you're here and your parents disowned you, guess what? I'm your dad now.
Yeah.
We love this.
He's a little too young for that.
Yeah.
So that's why
Give it another
it's just free
decade.
hugs. Exactly.
Mhm, mhm,
Exactly.
mhm. So you're front and center when this jet bike blasts into the air. There is an explosion. People scatter. It crashes into a fountain. There is music blasting off of it, but it is strange alien. It is alien music, blasting completely at odds with the rest of the party, and they are having fun, but they are having fun in a way that is not taking care of the other people at this parade. Superman, sometimes you really get happy to roll a particular number. Can you describe your big hero moment and describe like what the peak Superman shit looks like in this moment?
Right.
Well, first I think because Lois is there, I think Clark will like look at Lois and be like, I got them over here, you know, kind of a thing, and like make as if to help people who have been like maybe trapped or been like kind of injured by these exploding fountain. But what he'll do is of course disappear. And I think because he's been vibing in that like protective big brother energy, dad energy, I think that's, you just get the hippies at one point when they party. I think they're a little spot near their feet like lights up with the heat vision, and they look up and they see him like arms crossed over them, and just being like, now I thought everyone deserves to have fun here. You should be a little bit more responsible.
I think I forgot that these characters can do this, and I think that the second that Superman poses, the party takes on a whole other dimension as all five of these outer space hippies are like, is this a battle? Are we having a battle? Is our party gonna have a battle? Yes. Yes. And they all they all do the hands on top of one another, and then they throw it up, and the forever people summon their energy being guardian, and suddenly there is like a celestial sort of like energy figure. The Infinity Man is standing in front of you and just throws an immediate haymaker as this entire squad of space hippies starts cheering.
And I think the Superman, like, since he's floating, he will duck out of the way of the haymaker, but then he'll also back up and say, we can do this, but not over here. Today we leave these kids alone. And he's just gonna tackle. He's just gonna like fly his whole body into this thing, and like you just see it shoot, and other partiers just see this like streak of, I guess, silver and blue and red across their heads to the other end of the park. Because if there's going to be a fight, it's going to be somewhere where people who are being free and happy and you know, having a great time are not in danger. But also their fun does not need to be spoiled because of this idiot. You know,
Honestly, I think this is enhancing it. I feel like everyone
they're
like
having
as
a
the
blast.
parade is getting underway, because like they're not staying in the park. They're organizing there, and then they're gonna start marching.
Oh yeah.
The
Oh, I
city.
thought this is a
So they're
party
like
part. Like
so they're
everyone's just
like
dancing.
I
and
almost
vibing.
just love like everyone's just watching this happen. It's like,
Yeah.
like,
And
it's
like
just
maybe
it's just getting cooler.
yeah, maybe there's like the equivalent of like the fountain, like the other fountain in Central Park, like where they're on the other side of it. They're far enough away. The main gathering is there, but you can
Yeah.
yeah. And I think Superman has a great time, and
I think that the
flavor.
forever people also have a great time. Like, this is like, we see a slugfest between Superman and the Infinity Man. It is a like, and the forever people are just like, there's five of them. They're very Jack Kirby hippie designs. I can say their names because I think they say a lot. Beautiful Dreamer, Big Bear, Mark Moonrider, Seraphan, Viking, which is spelled Vykin, which is not how you expect that to be spelled.
No.
All of them are chanting and fist pumping, and this is their own unique party that has broken out, is watching their collective guardian punch the legendary Kryptonian. The fight erupts finally in a burst of shimmering light. Infinity Man shatters and breaks into light, and the
And
Forever people,
if I may,
please,
the
yes.
weapon that shatters him is going to be some kid out there in the crowd who holds up his giant oversized pride flag to Superman. And that's what Superman's going to use, because that's just a beautiful image and we all need the pride flag kicking ass out there.
And yeah, we see the pride flag smash into Infinity Man. Infinity Man shatters into a bunch of rainbow sparkling lights. And immediately, without missing a beat, all of the Forever people have leapt onto Superman in a way that almost seems like the battle is continued, until you realize that they are all snapping selfies with mother boxes.
Wow. Oh, those mother boxes are so they're just, the universe is multi-tool.
They're just so excited that they're like, yeah, we got to fight the Superman. This is a great day.
You know what? The Forever people are just hippies who like mosh pits.
They're just hippies who like mosh pits. That was the energy, and they needed, truly, the best thing Superman could have done was give them an outlet for smashing that was safe and contained.
Some people just want to be punched in the face.
You have to safely smash.
Yes. Stay safe, kids.
They wanted nothing more than to smash. And actually, I am going to break the rules here for a moment. I'm going to grab this card. Because the Jacks in this game represent allies. They represent people that are willing to help the hero do things as they go. And one of them, the Jack of Hearts, is a person that needs a friend, someone to listen to them, or someone to support them. And then they will happily step up when you need them. I'm going to grab this Jack of Hearts, which appropriately is Captain Marvel Jr. I'm going to grab this Jack of Hearts, and I'm going to set it here and say that, the Forever people are good people. They're heroes they're heroes, and they just are a little bit rowdy.
They're just rowdy boys.
So they are on the table to come back up if we need them later.
They have a lot of good energy. It just needs to be channeled correctly.
Exactly. Yes. Correct. And so with that, I'm going to draw our next card. And that is the 2 of Diamonds, which means that we are still in the park. Some time has passed. Where are we in a little bit? Marcy, where are we in the park? Let's let you set the scene. What is unfolding now that some time has passed, whether that be hours, days, weeks? You tell me how long has passed, and you tell me what else is unfolding in the park.
I like it. I want to keep it during this day just because it's so adorable and the energy feels great. But now it's like evening. I think it was more early afternoon, and now, things are calmer in the park because now the day's festivities have probably moved on to other locales, either some local night spots, bars, etc. You can still hear A-Town, especially. I think we're by the side of the park that's closest to A-Town. It is still, there may be some fireworks. But they're not Earth fireworks. There are some biological fireworks that some people are setting off somehow, and it's pretty rad. But the overall atmosphere is really festive and bright, even though we're now it's the sun is starting to set.
It's almost like a pub crawl vibe. The parties are inside the bars, but also outside the bars, and there's lots of vibing on the streets. Good stuff.
And
I think Metropolis gets just bumping around Pride, but in a very different vibe than Gotham would, although I would love to see what's going on over there as well, because that party is choice. There are no straight people allowed to live in Gotham, so
maybe we can figure out a way to have Gotham Pride on other Manapot Studio shows.
I love how you think.
It's a solid plan.
I think you can see it from like across the river though.
Yeah.
But it's much more dangerous looking over there. Like there's colorful fireworks happening right now. It's all cute. Yay, happy Pride. And over there it's more like queer liberation march in Gotham, where it's like, no, legitimately.
You can see bits of fires emerging from the Gotham skyline, but they are flashing in rainbow colors, which raises questions about the chemical compositions of the fires that are burning. But at the same time, like all of the reports out of it are like all of the tweets out of it are just having a blast. Great weekend.
Having a blast. Literally, the town hall is on fire again.
It's because the targets of the fires are, corporations embracing rainbow capitalism without giving back to the community. And
I think it's like,
the Gothamites have some very strong opinions on that.
Yeah, you know how, I don't know what it is, but like there's a straw goat that gets lit on fire every year. I forget in which country, but like in Gotham on Pride, it's like the annual torching of the GCPD building, where then they have to spend like the next calendar year rebuilding it again.
GCPD goes up in rainbow flames.
Harley, we can't keep doing this.
Harley was in Metropolis tonight. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but she started the fire before she left.
I know. No, that's sure alibi.
Yeah, right, sure. We gotta have an alibi.
We need to take pictures at Metropolis Pride.
Yeah, there we go.
Right.
Solved
it. I think so the day is dying down, the afternoon is dying down, the parade has moved, is in full swing. There's still a lot of tech people around. There's still a lot of stuff unfolding, right? There's a lot of like logistical stuff, because orchestrating a party of this size is a complicated thing. Which means that nobody fully noticed when somebody like strapped on a large metal backpack and like that had a bunch of wires connected to a chest plate. Like nobody quite noticed this. Nobody quite noticed when this person plugged themselves into one of the big industrial things. And nobody noticed when, like, I guess people started to notice when sparks started flying, and suddenly there was a ginormous flash, and then suddenly this person was standing without a backpack and looked at their hand and started disappearing and reappearing. It seems somebody has handed another local villain a piece of intergang technology and has created a Superman animated series villain that has been frozen in my brain for 20 years at this point, despite never showing up in anything else. I think that a party so built around lights is particularly frightening for local supervillain Luminous, a man made of hard light energy.
Oh my god, you've unlocked a memory that I forgot.
You remember the episode with Luminous?
Yeah. I watched that series like crazy.
He's a hard light guy. And Superman's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy. And then nobody did anything. And I was like, that guy's kind of cool.
It does kind of sound like a hard, like seltzer alcohol whenever someone says it's hard light.
I need to know, what is hard light?
Basically it's light, but that can hold objects. He is, his ability. You kind of see him like flash and like crackle, so like he's effectively made of energy. And as he kind of cracks his neck, and specifically what do I want him to, what villainous thing do I want him to do? What is a villainous thing to do on this day? Is there
steal everybody's fireworks?
I think that legitimately
he wants to make it about himself. He wants to be the biggest light show tonight.
He wants to be the biggest light show, and I think specifically what he does is all of the lights in the greater Centennial Park district shut off, and he is trying to hold the city. He's trying to hold it ransom now that he is a being of light with light control powers. He snaps his fingers and every screen in the park shows his face. Attention, citizens of Metropolis. My name is Luminous, and I am your new conductor of ceremonies. I would advise those in City Hall, if you want this event to continue and you don't want things to, and he snaps his fingers again and everything shuts off, go dark, or worse, he snaps his fingers again and all of an array of fireworks go off at once, or worse, go poorly, I would expect a payment of $1 billion to my bank. You know what? I said two. We're going to stick with $2 billion to a private bank account. The coordinates have just been forwarded via an email to your internal revenue department. How long does it take to get $2 billion? 5 minutes? 10 minutes? What's a reason? We'll go 5 minutes. How's that sound?
Oh,
Thank you all so much for your cooperation.
I think our two guys that were working at the Lord building, what a terrible day to just start working for the Internal Revenue Services. This is my new airplane bit.
It's a new leaf. A new leaf. We're starting fresh.
It's the government and bureaucracy. How intense can it
This
be,
is gonna be
right?
an easy gig.
Government paycheck, nothing better.
Yeah, easy hours, no megalomaniacal CEOs telling us what to do. Bam.
Did you just get an email?
Yeah, $2 billion.
Yeah, I don't think we got that.
No, I mean, do you have the clearance to do something like that? Because I sure as shit don't.
I got the clearance to send a tweet. I
I
was supposed to
mean-
record us doing the Harlem Shuffle. I don't know if that's still a thing. I don't know if that's still relevant. I don't know if that was just something that was written on a whiteboard somewhere.
Yeah, I got a bunch of fun like catchphrases that I came up with to remind people like when tax season's coming up next year, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't got Euro.
Yeah, Euro.
All right, let's do.
These are the real heroes.
I
And-
just love the citizens of Gotham.
I love it. So Superman, what are we up to? Where are we at?
Superman, as it got later into the evening and folks took their festivities to the bars and whatnot, I think Superman decided to, because he was already spotted and was unfortunately probably got more attention than he would have even wanted on Pride, but he's helping out clear up the after, all the confetti on the ground and helping fly trash bags to the dumpster. He's helping clean up. I think he wants to make sure that people don't have to come back and do this tomorrow. They should just have a good time, not worry about this. And the organizers have worked very hard, and he can help, and so he will help.
I like it.
So he's probably in the park when one of the screens goes off.
Oh yeah, you're in the park. The lights shut out. A screen. You see the fireworks go up, and it is a gnarly looking explosion. So you get the full like, I've taken the parade hostage. I've taken the city hostage. You get the full kit and caboodle.
I have a question.
Go for it.
If Lois was still with Clark when this happened, right before the lights went out, were they really close to holding hands and then this happened and then it didn't happen? It didn't pop.
Oh, Clark left. It's Superman. So there was definitely some because he just never, there was no point changing back because people were like, yay, Superman, you have a great time at Pride. And I guess there were selfies and like they were like, come announce this winner of something.
So much better.
Yeah. So Superman's hanging out at Pride. That's what ended up happening. And so no, Superman, but yes, I do think that they were probably doing some cleanup and they were kind of getting close to like wrapping up for the night, and there was some like suggestive, idiot time jokes, and the lights go out. And I think Superman had to turn his head towards where the fireworks are going off.
Yeah, the lights come back on and Lois is standing alone in the park.
Well, I think Superman would have been like, I'm sorry. I think I have to get that.
Do your thing.
Rat! It's like the doorbell going off. Right?
Oh no, are you kidding? Lois is pulling out a pad of paper and
running?
hustling to where this action is going to be. She's like, oh, dang, so disappointing. Article.
Silver lining.
Oh God, I just realized based on what we said what Superman is gonna come upon when he comes upon the stage where Luminous was calmly waiting, and why this situation has turned even worse. Superman arrives just in time to see a hammer swing at full speed, and like it is coming straight for the head of Luminous, and it just effortlessly phases through as Luminous kind of like rears back. Oh, okay. Cool. I guess that's something about myself I didn't know. Not only are you going to have, I mean, this is, I guess, a little bit of a heroic team up moment, but an energy based being that you have to figure out how to stop despite not being able to directly punch. And also a very angry clown that is swinging a hammer and ordering hyenas around very, very aggressively.
I think.
I think and I think that the thing that I'm gonna roll my dice here.
Oh yes, yes.
All right, that's a 5. That's a respectable 5. We're gonna save the day. I think the moment that I want you to arrive is the hammer swings. She steps back and immediately reaches into her boot, lights what I can only describe as a cartoon stick of dynamite, and whips it at him directly.
Amazing.
If the hammer doesn't work,
Beautiful. And I think Superman comes in and is probably flying with, there's probably a lot of momentum to stop now. So fully realizing that he's about to probably go through Luminous, but realizing that it's probably going to be a learning experience to see what that feels like and gather information from that.
That's quite a way to phrase that.
I think he's just gonna, once again, like, attempt to, if Luminous was corporeal only, body slam him. But I guess, yeah. What does he just roll right through it?
You just fly straight through. It feels tingly, tickles a little bit, which is unusual. But I think as you fly, almost the second you fly through him, you do feel something collide with your shoulder as you feel the lit stick of dynamite hit your shoulder and explode, and you are sent tumbling backwards. Luminous is standing perfectly fine, but is markedly shocked of like, that was an escalation that I was not prepared for. I'm starting to think that this might be a problem.
I guess, does Superman know Harley Quinn?
Oh wow, maybe
Great
not.
question.
I mean, if we're still in early days, and Jeff, if you don't want to be role playing with yourself, I can play Harley while you're doing Luminous.
That would be great.
I don't think they've met, but like, surely Harley would know by reputation who Superman is, but maybe like she hasn't actually interacted with the big guy yet, even though I'm sure she's been to Metropolis before.
I think that makes sense. And I think Superman probably knows of Gotham's like variety of clown issues, but
right, because he's now becoming BFFs with a certain Dark Knight.
Yeah, but I also don't think that Harley specifically comes up a lot.
No, because she'd be in her early days too.
Yeah, she's probably out there like brawling on the street with the guys who deserve it.
Yeah, I think she and Ivy are just having gotten together. Like, I think it is a fairly new relationship.
Okay. I think Superman looks at Harley just like, where did you find a stick of dynamite?
Oh, jeez. Superman, I'm sorry. You just got in the way of my shot.
It's okay. Better me than, well, not this guy, but anybody else.
Also, hi, I'm Holly. It's nice to meet you. 1 second. And she takes the bat and tries to like duck out of the way of if Luminous is coming at her with another attack.
I think that Luminous like, I think this actually hurts Superman. I think like flies at you with an open palm, sails past Harley, palm strike Superman, and there's like an overwhelming surge of electricity as a being made of electricity has just planted all of that electricity running through you, and like there is an electrifying shock that knocks you off your feet for a moment.
Okay. So Superman goes off his feet, probably lands next to Harley, and says, he has to take physical form when he hits me. Try to get him then. And
I got you, sweetie. We're gonna tag team this. All right. You set him up and I'll knock it out.
All right. Yes, it's time to set him up so Harley can knock it out of the park. And I think that's Superman is just going to set himself up to be a punching bag.
And it works flawlessly. You take a beating, but like as one of these big, I think in peak overconfident villain moment, there's like a throat grab, like he's got you by the throat and like the electricity is surging. Harley, how do you take the shot?
I take it like I'm at a carnival and I'm hitting one of those. I'm now forgetting what they're like, the strong
strength test, yeah.
The strength test thing.
With
and
the bell
like,
at the top.
Yeah. It's like top prize winner goes to Harley. Bam. Like she like leaps up and we have that like comic book panel shot with like the legs fully splayed out ridiculously forward as she's using all of her momentum to bring the bat down on his head.
You crack the bat on his head and he turns into static, like his whole body turns into like static, and then just like collapses and is like blinking in and out. He has been knocked into as unconscious as like a being made of energy, I guess, can be. Like he's sort of part static and part incorporeal. And in that moment, I mean, the visual that we get is the bat hits, all of the lights turn on 100%, all of the fireworks go off. It is the most carnival ass thing that could possibly occur.
It's a carnival, but rainbow.
Yeah, and I also think that now at this point, Harley's hair is standing up because like she got a little bit of that blowback. She's using like a steel bat, so it's like, whoa, about a rush, right?
I just picture this moment between Harley and Ivy where it's just like, happy pride, baby.
I think there's a moment where in the trench coat and the hat and the sunglasses with the coffee cup walks up to Superman. I was never here.
Okay, I don't know who you are.
That's for the best.
Okay, bye, Soups. It was really nice working with you, but I don't think we can do it again anytime soon, okay?
Yeah, that's okay. Be safe out there. I'll take care of this
guy.
I won't. And I think Soups is just gonna like try to carry this phasing guy to a place where he can be taken into custody appropriately.
Harley gives Ivy a kiss, which sends like a bout of static shock and knocks the glasses off of her face.
And specifically like there is a moment where it almost seems like another thing is going to erupt, because with the static a bunch of like vines thrash about, and like the nearby plants as they are in a park just like thrash about for a second, and there's definitely a moment
running
of like
through them.
There's a moment of like, Superman, we're good, just an accident, everything's fine.
I just learned something new.
Does Lois come out of the trees just like covered in vines, having been like in a fight with the forest?
She got vined. I think actually what happens is that she was maybe like perched up somewhere, and like the vines that shot up like knock her off of whatever perch she was standing in, whether it was a tree or just like a staircase of some kind. So she like pops up out of the bushes like, whoa, okay. Plant powers seen in Metropolis, along with strange women in makeup, light shows. I swear every day there's something new going on here.
It sounds so fun.
I know, right?
I'm gonna party there.
I know, right? This rules.
I mean, I love Metropolis, but I'm gonna party in Gotham things.
So I'm gonna flip our next card. And Where did it go? This is where you know what? Here's where I have to by default reveal that our next card, which I have flipped, realized wasn't the card that I was looking for, and then found the card that I was looking for. Because sometimes we fit the games that we play into a particular time frame. That is a natural part of the role playing process. Is of course our red Joker. It is our first Joker. It represents the emergence of the villain and the downfall of the hero to come back later stronger. It also marks that we are going to take a 5 to 10 minute break. We will come back. We will face the hero's downfall. We will describe what happens. We will see the chaos of the city. We will play one or two more rounds of play to see the city post downfall, and then the hero will rise up, take the villain down, save the day. Superman will get to be Superman in the biggest context possible because when I introduce this particular villain, it's gonna get real big real
Oh, I'm
quickly.
so excited.
That's gonna be good. Yeah.
All right, but with that, we will take a 10-minute break, and we will be back shortly. Future Jeff will check in about donation totals and everything. Is this is or as a fundraiser for the Transgender Legal Defense and Education Fund? Donate. You can find a link in the chat. Find a link below. There should be a QR code on screen. And in the meantime, Jeff in the future. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Tabletop RPG Super-Stream. It presents Anyone Can Wear the Mask, a Superman adventure with my two wonderful friends. Let us briefly reintroduce ourselves, give a little bit of where we are at, what we are doing here, and then we will deal with this nasty-looking Joker. I say nasty-looking Joker like it isn't Mary Marvel smiling at me and being delightful. Like, I don't know why I'm like,
Aw.
this is scary. Um, narratively, it is a scary thing,
Yeah.
even if the artwork is delightful. My name is Jeff Stormer. I am the host. This is the Tabletop RPG Super-Stream. It is an annual fundraiser. This year, we are raising money for the Transgender Legal Defense and Education Fund. You can find links to donate in the chat. You can find a QR code in the middle of the screen. We are doing giveaways and stretch goals and all of that good stuff. Donate. It's a good cause. It is a worthy fight. It is an important way to help stand for our siblings and loved ones in the trans community. And we're also playing some fun Superman games today. So I am playing the villain, and I'm about to introduce the extremely foreshadowed ultimate villain of this particular adventure that I'm so excited about. But first, I am joined by two wonderful friends. Marcy, go ahead and reintroduce yourself to our lovely audience at home.
Hello, I'm still Marcy, and you can still find me around the internet under the username Experimental Madness or Marciful if you come across a site that wouldn't let me use Experimental Madness. As before, mostly you can find me on Manapot Studios. I'm a feral little nerd that plays a lot of characters, and I'm playing the city of Metropolis tonight.
And Puja, go ahead and introduce yourself to our lovely audience at home.
Hey, friends, I'm back. I'm Puja. I can be found on the swirling cesspool of Twitter at Puja and at Pujaberwalkie everywhere else. And I am playing our very beloved Soups tonight.
And as I said, I'm going to be playing the villain. When last we left our hero, it has been chaotic times in the city of Metropolis. There have been aliens. There has been weird technology flooding the streets. Supervillains have been turning up, empowered by strange otherworldly technology. Pride almost got ruined, but it didn't. We're all very happy about this. And Carla Tortelli has made a dramatic appearance. Here, star of the stream. I can't. Okay, go back. Okay, have fun, girl. And my face is gonna be a little shadowed because she loves sitting back where the lights are. It's fine. And
It's
we are.
warm there.
It is warm. It is bright. It is the general direction where I am talking, so she thinks that I am talking to Carla.
Oh.
I love her so much. I love my cat. Um, so we are going to now introduce our villain. With the first Joker card, we introduce the villain. The way that this happens, this is the moment where the villain appears, confronts the hero, strikes deep at the heart of the hero. This is where the battle happens. Lives are lost. Destruction spreads. The hero is beaten back for now. The hero will come back because heroes always do, but this is the downfall. So, as it relates to this adventure, we are going to answer some questions. This is going to flesh out our iteration. This is going to flesh out the villain. This is interesting because I think that we know who the villain is, and I'm curious. I'm interested in what that looks like how these questions shape out when we truly know who we're about to play. So, like, I'm excited to see this shake out. So first off, we have some questions for our hero.
Mm-hmm.
Superman, what piece of yourself most scares you, and how do you see that amplified in the Lord of Apocalypse Dark Side?
What? Superman is young, and I think Superman is afraid of failing to be the shield he has based so much of his identity on. He's out here to protect people, and I think his greatest fear is not being able to do that, whether it is because powers fail or whether it's because he loses control over it. Like, whatever the reason, I think that his greatest fear is not being able to do the main thing that motivates him for day to day.
I like that. And what weakness are you afraid will be discovered, whether literal or otherwise, and how do you fear that it will be used against you?
I think Superman is worried that someday he's gonna fight he knows deep down that he cannot be the strongest thing out there every time.
Mm-hmm.
And he classic anxiety, raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Someday he's going to come across something and he just won't be strong enough.
Yep. City, what part of the hero most scares you, and how is the villain the worst version of that?
That's actually very interesting because I'm absolutely going to flavor this with my own interpretation of Superman now. You can't stop me.
No, please. I'm excited.
Right. Well, I think that the point of Superman is that you don't rely on one person to save anybody. The point is for everyone to save themselves. There's no like Messiah. That's not what the story is. And I think that since this is still Superman in the early days, Metropolis especially has just gotten used to this concept that we're so lucky. Like we have this person that's helping us with problems that are bigger than what, ordinary humans could handle. And, maybe it's left them a little bit vulnerable to that concept of, hey, don't sit back and rest on your laurels. So I think that there's a part of the city that there's some people in the city that understand that and that are working to make sure that not everything like they're not relying on Superman for everything,
Right.
and that they don't put that kind of pressure on one person. And I think there's the fear that maybe not everyone in the city is going to be able to heed the call to action if/when there ever is one.
Right. So that brings us to our villainous questions. What power do you crave, and how are you going to seize it? Put my hands behind my back. We're on full dark side. If I could do the dark side pose, I'm doing the dark side pose. The quest for anti-life is often perceived as a quest for death. People foolishly interpret death as the opposite of life, and that is not true. That is not the heart of the anti-life equation. The heart of the anti-life equation is not death, but is the loss of the will to live. That is the anti-life. It is an existence without life. And so to achieve that equation exists somewhere in the cosmos, and based on the sheer confluence of factors that have pointed the cosmos towards Earth, it is believed that equation, that ability to truly snuff out the existence of hope must be found on Earth, and it must be found in a place of such profound hope and such profound energy that to achieve that is to break something that is a symbol of pure optimism. And that is, it is not about taking the city. It is not about power. It is not about control. It is about breaking a symbol of hope to dig underneath the surface and find the terror and the agony that can be wielded into and weaponized across the cosmos into a weaponized lack of hope. That is the game plan here. What insurmountable odds will the hero have to overcome to defeat you? I think we have seen this particular Superman, face a giant monster before, face Doomsday. We have watched this Superman fight an army of robots before. What we have not watched this Superman fight, we have seen fight nuisances, thieves, and the occasion and thugs, and one disappointing son in the form of Calabac. What we have not seen this Superman fight, and what Darkseid is bringing to bear is an army, but is also ominously so, and I think in a way that opens up the possibility of exciting things happening as the resolution, is an army is Earth is guarded, or Metropolis and the world is guarded by a Superman. So I am going to bring several Supermen to bear. I am going to bring, if one superpowered guardian looks over the city, I am going to bring 7. And we are going to see what happens when this hero falls to sheer numbers and might. And what weakness does the villain fear that he hopes the hero never finds? And this is me. This is taking a cue from Marcy. This is me, Mike. This is laying into my personal interpretations of legitimately one of my favorite universes and sandboxes to play in comics. I really love the New Gods, y'all. I love the New Gods. I love Jack Kirby's work.
Jeff, do not get me started. We'll be here for like 7 hours.
Fucking love him. But the thing about the New Gods, the thing about Darkseid, and the thing about like all of that philosophical stuff is that Darkseid is very canonically wrong. And it is a ongoing thing throughout the Jack Kirby Fourth World books. It is an ongoing thing. When the character is used best, it is the appearance of an all-consuming hopelessness to undercut the fact that that is not a thing that will ever be achieved. If Superman can rally people, there are already cracks in the armor that of Darkseid's grand unified military presence that can be exploited. And it is that like that hopelessness and control is fleeting, if not non-existent. It is Darkseid's belief that he has this, but he truly, genuinely does not. And now I get to describe the villain and all their terrible might, and I think that it is Metropolis is weirdly ready for an all-out invasion. This is something that the city has dealt with no less than 3 times, 2 of which were Luthor's doing with an army of robots. So when boom tubes appear, when big booming portals appear and alien demons fly out of it, to your point, Marcy, the city is pretty well in a place to hold them at bay. Superman probably still gets involved, but like it is all of the city's contingencies are activated in a nutshell. There are overwhelming numbers. But what occurs most notably is there were a lot of other random characters that I was going to pull in, but like if we're ringing the bell, there is only one group of characters that I really actually want to deal with. And if I get to depict the start of the best face turn in all of comic book history, I'm going to do it. When one final boom tube appears, I think in front of the Daily Planet. I think part of what makes this terrifying is the immediate confrontation of Superman, where Superman has been shown to have skin in the game, as stepping out of it comes a like easily 8 feet tall brick house of a woman with boxing gloves and like a green domino mask, and a second woman bandaged up like a mummy, kind of like pulling bandages between her fists, and another woman with big gigantic boots comes clomping out of it, and there are potholes in the pavement, and behind all of them, clad in blue chainmail, sword at her back, walking silently, is the enforcer and leader of the female Furies. It is Big Barda. And the Furies are here, and they are just looking around, waiting for Superman to appear.
Happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride.
This one's for the gays.
This whole episode is
everything is
for
the gays.
Who did I miss? Did I miss any? There's a Joker looking lady with green hair. I knew I missed one of the Furies, and I couldn't remember which it was. And it was God, I don't even remember her name now, but the one that looks like the Joker. Mad Harriet, that's her name. I knew it was a. So all of them emerge, and like as this invasion is happening, like they are standing watch, wait, just like sending a clear signal like that they are just waiting. I think that, they have stopped traffic around themselves. I think
I mean, yeah.
it is
It's June. There is definitely somebody rolling down a window.
I'm
yelling,
getting
"Step on me,
unhinged."
mommy."
Yeah.
Come on.
Are you sure that just wasn't you?
Yes, it's me. You found me out.
What does Superman do?
Well,
Gives them our numbers.
I was like,
Well, fair.
All right, no, we're serious now.
well, I think Superman, who's been probably, like you said, running around town, making sure, after the first episode where, sorry, I'm seeing but we've had multiple instances where the city has risen up and fought back, and Superman has faith in the city. That definitely has not wavered. So he goes around to the different neighborhoods, flying between them, just to make sure nothing is getting too out of control, to make sure things are being handled. And I think in one of his sweeps of the city, the Daily Planet is always just going to be a place he's naturally
Right.
inclined to check on. He sees this group of, how many did we end up with? 4 or 5?
I think there are 5. I can name them now because I've got it in front of me. We've got Lashina, who is I may put a picture on screen. I might not. We'll see. Depending on how much editing time I have. But we have Lashina, who has like bandage whips. We have Stampa, who is giant boots. We have Knockout, who is like a sort of a boxer. There is Mad Harriet, who kind of looks like a Joker or a Creeper and has big giant sharp claws. And then there's Big Barda standing in the back, leaning against a car, just watching all of this unfold.
Superman lands in front of him and says, "You weren't waiting for me, were you?"
And I think without saying a word, I think unlike Calabac, who is so eager to monologue, the Furies just go to work. And there is a brawl. It is a 1-on-5 brawl that erupts, and they are working with teamwork and tactics. And
they got pack tactics.
They've got pack tactics, and they like there are things like Lashina is wrapping up Mad Harriet's legs and kind of like throwing using that as sort of a sling to hurl Mad Harriet like into a flying tackle. And so you are battling, and it takes everything that you have just to hold this at a stalemate as this coordinated effort of extremely powerful superhumans fight you to a standstill. And as like I think eventually you gain, if not the upper hand, Superman is able to like at least hold your own until one final boom tube opens and a black boot steps out of it, and 10 feet tall, like towering over you have to stare up at this craggly stone figure, his hands calmly behind his back.
Oh, no.
As Darkseid looms and like watches as looks around, I think like gives a nod to Barda, and like all of the Furies back up and finally like steps up. So this is the defender of the planet called Earth. This is the great gleaming hero that these people have placed their hope into. Is that right?
I guess. Not. I prefer to go by Superman, but okay.
I appreciate someone that can be jovial in the face of imminent defeat.
Oh, I could do this. In the words of a friend from another universe, I could do this all day.
And I think with that, like there is another like crack of a smile, and then an immediate backhand that we see Superman fly through the ground floor of some buildings before like
Probably of the Daily Planet.
yeah, fly back through the like hit backhand, you fly backwards through the Daily Planet through 2 or 3 more buildings before tumbling into the street and crashing into the legs of Darkseid, still standing just as calm, having flew past you in the opposite direction.
I think Superman. I think what has happened over the course of this previous fight is something that was gruesome in
Mm-hmm.
that slowly building excruciating way where it's not flashy, there's no explosions, it's just the repeated pounding of somebody into the pavement, breaking them
Yeah.
down like almost ligament by ligament till they can't stand up. And I think that's what every time Superman gets up, it's getting more and more difficult, because yes, he's strong, yes, he's hard to hurt, but he can only take so much over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's for anybody in the Daily Planet who's actually seen Superman at work, they can tell like this
Yeah.
is not right. He's taking way too long to get off the ground.
And we end this segment of the downfall by just seeing I think we see shots of this on not just the local news but the national news due to the shitty news reporting of one G. Gordon Godfrey showing Metropolis's hero has faced their downfall. And like we
It's
see
like all
just
awkward cell phone camera footage.
yeah. Some of it is a little bit too angularly staged. Like some of it is in that G. Gordon Godfrey is an agent of Darkseid way. Like some of the footage is a little bit too like you can see too much of Superman getting beaten. But I think finally like picks you up and the eye lasers emerge and they do the thing where they kind of go at different angles before colliding, and Superman just disappears, is blinked out of existence, at least for now, like for like at the moment, like I think at the moment blinked out of existence, and I want to get real funky with the next section. Because what happens right now? Behold the power of the Omega Beam. The Omega Beam is the sickest like the Omega Beam gets used as an eye laser a lot, and this is Jeff being like, y'all are underplaying how cool this this supervillain power is. It is a eye laser that wipes you from history. It is an eye laser that if it strikes you, all like you are removed from existence. So what I want to do with the next section, where I am going to briefly describe some of the destruction of the city as the Furies and the Parademons like tear into Metropolis. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this deck of cards and I'm going to pull a number out of it. How many times did you save the day? You saved the day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I'm going to pull 6 cards out of the deck. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These cards are destroyed. The city is damaged, and more importantly, the people's hope is damaged because they just watched Superman fail live on television, and it was broadcast across the world. And now, moreover, there is a moment where they realize that there's a moment where the city confronts the fact that there never was a Superman. Like reality has rewritten itself to where Superman never existed, and that the city is so much worse off for this. So first thing that happens is that the hero and the city take a moment of silence to deal with the wiping of Superman from existence. And now here's what's going to happen now, because this is a superhero story and this is the most Superman thing that I can propose. Superman is going to defeat being wiped from existence. And that is going to be what kicks off the second half of the game. Because now what happens is the city tells the hero what they need to hear to encourage them to come back, move forward, and save the day. The hero will do this, and we will take the other Joker, which is right here, and we will set it into the deck. So what I want to ask Marcy and Puja, I want to ask the two of you, how is Superman's presence so strongly felt that it brings Superman out from the realms of non-existence back into being in defiance of the almighty power of the Omega Beam?
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think this has to be. I don't think this is Superman's doing. I think this is the city's doing.
Mm-hmm. Marcy, it's all you.
Yeah, we're also getting into what is my favorite aspect of the Superman comics, just straight up, which is even if history is rewritten and Superman never existed, the point on a meta level, if I may,
Please.
isn't that a singular individual should exist. It's the concept of everyone has to be doing the work to make the world a better place to live in. And that's something that can't die or be erased, because that's a concept that already exists within people. And so the city of Metropolis embodying that in the face of hopelessness and anti-life just full on rejects it. And maybe there's, a little bit of comic book magic, because even when someone's erased from the timeline in comic books, somebody's always there. Their presence is always felt like backwards, diagonally forwards. I like to blame that on the Speed Force. And it's magnified because at one point in one reality, the Superman did exist. So I think we see nobody going down without a fight. We even see some of like the smaller like criminal organizations in Metropolis actually working with ordinary citizens in order to fight back against a common enemy. My favorite trope always is whenever Lois Lane gets separated from Superman, she sort of becomes Superwoman, which there was a comic series about this. It's great. Check it out. And she's also leading the charge in all of that. Not just as a reporter that's keeping, being the one that's putting all of the news out there and keeping people in touch with each other at a time where probably a lot of those sources of communications are compromised or are down. But she's also, standing with people, just like she did when the Brainiac robots were taking over the city under Lex Luthor. And maybe some of that energy, all of that hope that Superman stands for and brought into that city and to the planet, gets sent back to him. Maybe there's a little like blue light or something that is like shot into the universe. Let's just combine a couple of different of my other favorite superhero tropes and motifs. That maybe calls to entities that no longer exist in the universe to come back and coalesce.
Does it work?
I think it does, because you're not truly gone as long as some of the things you represent and lessons you hopefully imbued into people also disappear. Because Superman might be gone, memories of him might be gone, but the effects that he had on the city and what he meant to them is not gone. And I think that is enough of a connection for somebody who is so guided and shaped by the basic faith in humanity and the returned faith in him. And I think that is enough to bring him back. How we're it's not sure. He doesn't know where he went.
Comic book logic.
What logic?
Comic book logic.
Yes, exactly. It's just there's a thought bubble that appears in the stars.
I flipped our next card, and I would love to set the scene. I think I know where I want Superman to. I think I know where I want Superman to appear, because we've introduced one of my favorite characters in comics, and I did foreshadow the greatest face turn that the superhero comics ever accomplished. And also, I flipped the Ace of Hearts, and the Ace is traditionally a confidant. The Ace is someone that helps the hero take down a powerful villain. If there was a king in our deck, which I don't believe that there is at this moment, this would be the key to destroying one of the minor villains. So instead, I'm just going to have this be a surprise team up. And that is that Superman, like, you have blinked into existence in an otherworldly prison full of unsolvable, like, there are death traps and lasers, and I think what gets you back to Metropolis is a daring sequence of escapes alongside an alien-looking figure who is a little bit shorter than some of the other aliens you've seen, a little, about your size, if not a little taller. I kind of like all the new gods being tall, but this one is skinny and almost like skinny, and like is wearing, tattered prisoner's gear, but is, in spite of everything, smiling and ever confident, if not cocky and sure set. And I think if you appear, and this alien goes, well, now, this is, of all of the unusual circumstances that could have befallen this, there were just a few traps that I did not feel like were a one-person escape thing, and I needed a second person. So, hey, stranger, how do you feel about learning some escape artistry?
I love learning new things. It's the best part of being human.
Well, you know what the best part about being an alien is when you think that you've lost all hope, sometimes a miracle comes along. And in a series of death-defying sequences, Superman and Mr. Miracle escape from the apocalyptic prison world. There is a moment just before you board a boom tube back to Earth where Mr. Miracle is about to like fly with you to Earth. The Furies burst through on the other side. Big Barda and Mr. Miracle lock eyes. Mr. Miracle, and she's like, how did you escape all of this? And he's like, hope always prevails, and like flips through the thing. And there's a moment where Big Barda is just staring like, I hate this man.
Spoiler alert. Maybe not. It's complicated. Relationship status.
Relationship status changed too. It's complicated immediately.
Amazing.
So now Superman has returned to Metropolis. Reality has been broken to bring Superman back into existence. And I've got a few more cards here that we'll flip before we flip our final Joker. So how about we get into it?
Hell yes. Hell yeah.
I flipped the 8 of clubs, which is great because we haven't actually seen Queensland Park. We haven't actually seen our historic district. What is going on? Marcy, what's going on in the historic district at this moment?
Remind me, Puja, if you have these in the notes, who was our super rad girl that like was standing up to Metallo in our first episode and like was throwing hands with the police? Anyway, it's her. She's back. Yes. She's like, I want to make her now like a total vigilante, just no powers in Metropolis at this point.
Yeah.
She's kicking ass and taking names and probably getting her ass beat, but whatever. Fascists are not allowed to live in Metropolis.
This is true.
And she's making sure that if she can't kill them, then she can try to make their immortal lives miserable. and she's rallied a resistance group to it's full guerrilla tactics. It's pop up, grab what you can, and annoy the shit out of them, and then disappear again. But don't try to be a hero, because then you'll get killed very easily, because they are way outmatched. But that's not the point. If they can make it really difficult, maybe they will freaking leave.
All right. So I had a blank space, and I am gonna get to use one of my favorite characters. You are staring down like an 8 foot tall Robin Hood looking motherfucker with a big long pointy black beard and like a laser sword, who is just gushing about, oh ho! Opponents wish to engage the mighty Steppenwolf in the battle of mortal combat. Truly, no one shall escape Steppenwolf's blade. And like this battle is unfurling. Just as the boom tube opens and Superman emerges, Superman, what do you do as you touch down to see this alien menace terrorizing these guerrilla fighters in the neighborhood that you live in?
I guess just to recap, did the tube appear there?
I think this is the fight is happening. A portal has opened up, and you and Mr. Miracle have now emerged from it as this battle is underway.
I think mid battle, Superman's like, whoop, all right, here we go, and is rushing in as Superman is going to do. And I think there probably is a moment where things slow down a little bit enough for him to be like, hey, I recognize her. Because I guess not that much, a little bit of time has passed in World, but they're still in, as we mentioned, they're young and dumb era, and so probably not that much time. But I think in that moment, it means it is a visual confirmation and a reminder of the good Superman has been able to achieve with the citizens of Metropolis. And like that in itself is invigorating, of like, we've done this before, it's the same shit, different day kind of a mood. And I think there's a lot of teaming up. The people who have fought with Superman before, I think, in their own little version of the Furies that we saw, where it's like, hey, you see some old tricks from the first time. And in terms of like throwing things, weaponizing other items on the street, I think we've already painted the citizens of Metropolis as being scrappy and fighting with what they have access to. And there's fastball specials. There's people being like, setting things up for Superman and I guess Miracle Man, and them knocking things down. They're like, oh, you know what? Last time we did this, Superman hit 4 in a row. Let's line them up, boys.
That's fun, because I was going to suggest that they had actually rigged like a full-blown catapult to like hurl parts of the city at Steppenwolf and any of the other Furies.
They just brought out the old one, which, as we know, was like a metal object with 3 pipes added on. They're like, oh, I know where to find those pipes. They haven't gone far.
Yeah.
There we go.
The Metropolis catapult. Everybody knows that.
You always have to keep it handy and easily assemblable.
Because you never know when the superhero is going to leave.
This is the world they live in.
All right, so I've rolled my 3 dice, and I rolled a 1, a 4, and a 5, which means as a 5, you save the day. I think that we see the dismantling of Steppenwolf. I think that we see him get his shit rocked. I mean, Steppenwolf is Steppenwolf, but Superman is Superman, and Superman has a posse, and therefore Superman is gonna win pretty effortlessly. And yeah, Steppenwolf is crushed, falls into another boom tube, is sent shamefully back to Apocalypse. And Superman, you are here with these people that have believed in you and, I guess, broken reality to bring you back to life. What does this moment look like?
I think it's a beautiful moment, but I think in a way that feels right in this moment. Like I had mentioned earlier, before the downfall, that Superman had been traveling from area to area in the city, seeing how the citizens were doing. And I think there is that moment of pulling back where Superman sees that the people on the ground here have it under control, and this is not just his fight. This is their fight, and he was brought in to help. So I kind of have this image of him starting to float back away when things were wrapping up, because this victory is theirs and should be theirs. They were not saved by Superman.
Okay.
They saved Metropolis with Superman, and I think there's that sense of like, this is how things should be, before he takes a deep breath and knows he has to head towards what's next down the road.
So what's next down the road is what's going on in Centennial Park, Marcy? So I've got the 4 of diamonds.
Okay, Centennial Park. Are we going to, I have to ask really quickly, are we going to all of the different neighborhoods?
No. I think this will be the last card before we draw our uprising. Actually, do we want to do all 4 neighborhoods? No, I think we'll do this last card and then we'll flip the Joker.
Okay. Let's get our resident like alien citizens in on the action here, because we said that A-Town is close to Centennial Park now, and I want to see them because they might know a little bit more about Darkseid and the Power Apocalypse. And it's that it's their wealth of knowledge that has been integral to helping the human citizens fight back in concrete ways. And I love this because it's quite literally maybe some humans were not scared, but like have some sort of trepidation with aliens. And you can see that those lines have completely been blurred, or those walls have been completely taken down now. Like they are comrades in arms, they are citizens of Metropolis, they are here and they are fighting to defend the city just as much as any other person. And we're seeing a more concentrated fight here with maybe some weapons, powers, abilities that otherwise ordinary human citizens wouldn't have access to.
And the result on a 4, this is great because this is great. This is a good Superman moment. For what I have written down on 4, parademons are in full force. The monsters are out. The battle is, and in an instant, like there is a squad of parademons that are about to descend on some of these aliens, and in an instant, vaporized. The parademons are wiped out, and they are wiped out because a giant black dome, landing gear emerges, touches down, speakers emerge. Citizens of Metropolis, once again, in the face of the failures of your so-called alien hero, the true savior of this city has returned to bring peace and justice back to his beloved home. Now, someone, as the ramp comes down, a thing opens up, and emerging, still putting the finishing like adjustments on his perfectly tailored suit, Metallo standing behind him, just like smiling, just like a piece of shit. Lex Luthor goes, now, someone get that 2-bit has-been fool out of my L-shaped office. I would like my building back.
Oh no, horrible news. The worst person you know just made a great point.
I
know. So Luthor is here and is here to strike while the iron is hot and take control of the city. Superman, what do you do?
Wait, I do feel like for a second there that the citizens are almost going to be like, oh, fuck that. Get get Lex. But then he says that, and somebody's like, no, wait, I want to see how this one plays out. When it's like, what's coming down to like Lex kicking out Maxwell, we're like, no, everyone wants to see this happen.
It's the two workers. Well, actually, hold on. He's making some good points. I know.
It's literally
you're
watching
a guy standing there. It's
the two Lord company.
Yeah, I just want to watch, Godzilla take down another kaiju. We have to let them fight.
And I feel like because we've already established, I think Superman's like standing behind him, and when they say that, Superman's like, "You think so?"
Kryptonian.
Wait, who was that? Luthor?
I think Luthor like looks behind him, sees you. Kryptonian.
Luthor. Didn't think you'd be showing up, but
well, someone has to defend this city, and as its rightful monarch, I intend to fight back the alien menace and take my place at the throne.
Punch him in the face, Superman.
I've done that before. It's not as satisfying as you'd think. So you're gonna fight?
Well, my associate is, and the variety of weapons that I have provided, as well as those individuals that you see, Superman, you see Kryptonian. Here's the difference between you and I think that like he gestures.
Someone's gonna throw something at Lex if he's gonna start monologuing.
Milkshake hits him in the face as he starts to monologue. Luminous and Toyman like appear, like emerge from the shadows, and he's like, I was gonna say that I bribed a bunch of supervillains to be my posse, but you know what? Can you go get that ingrateful son of... We should prioritize. Metallo, the Kryptonian, Toyman, Luminous, the disrespectful little worm. This is effective team leadership, and this is what I will bring to this city when I finally am allowed to take my place as its rightful mayor.
There's another can of soda that goes flying.
Wait.
I hate this city so goddamn much.
I think Superman just starts like floating out of reach and be like, wait, if you're gonna save the city, shouldn't you focus your goons on Darkseid?
Yes, but you have to understand something, Kryptonian. As much as I love the idea of being the savior of this city, I hate you that much more.
God, I just want to be mean, but that's not what Superman would do. I would be like, you know what this is? Okay, out of character. This is when someone has dubbed themselves your arch nemesis, and you're like, I don't even know who you are. Like, you are a non-entity to me.
Superman can't be mean, but I can be as the city.
There you go. Please.
So I think if that was projected, we're in A-Town, baby. There's gonna be, I mean, good luck, Luthor. Truly, you're going to need it because you're now staring down the barrel of a bunch of aliens, with some of which have amazing, awesome powers.
And you're a guy.
And you're a guy.
Well,
Superman is gonna be like, actually, I'm gonna go deal with the reality ender problem. Metropolis has got this.
Sure enough, I did roll a 6.
Amazing.
I think Luthor is rearing up for a fight. He goes, where you go? No, you're supposed to fight. This is supposed to be my grand this is my moment.
Pony up, rich boy. Let's go.
I truly despise this. And then the soda can hits him in the...
Oh, man. Can you imagine being the lucky person who gets to punch the smug grin off of Lex Luthor's...
I think about that all the time.
Ever monologuing face.
I want to make a t-shirt for this person that threw the milkshake, who's just like, I threw a milkshake at Lex Luthor. Just like, ask me how I did it.
Yeah.
And I'll do it again on the back.
Which brings us to our final card. which is the second Joker, and this is the Uprising. Superman, it is time to stare down the being that wrote Darkseid, Lord of Apocalypse, and the being that wrote you out of existence. Lord of the new gods of the fourth world, Darkseid, Grand Emperor, Conqueror, King of Apocalypse, the Rock and the Chain and the Lightning. Apocalypse. Apocalypse looms in the sky. You can see a second planet. The gravity of Earth is all fucked up. And we arrive at the Uprising. It has all led to this. The hero is in the villain's place of power, having refused to stand down and accept defeat. Losses hang heavy in the air, but it is time to finish this. The downfall is over. It is time for the Uprising. I get to describe the place of power now that Darkseid is at the height of his glory. He has molded the Daily Planet into a throne and sits atop of it. There are parademons swirling around him. He sits triumphantly at his throne, certain that Superman has been wiped from existence. I describe the power I seek and the power I have. I note how the hero has failed. I name the people you couldn't save and ask the hero how they think they could change things now. So I think that Darkseid is sitting triumphant when I think one of his minions like runs up to him just moments before Superman touches down, and Darkseid for a moment like looks over and stops being chill for a second, like, he did what? You mean to tell me that the powers of the Omega Beam to wipe someone from the history of existence were overdone by these things? This swirling ball of piss water and children managed to undo the power of the Omega Beams. So be it. If I must crush the Kryptonian hero again to break their spirit and unlock the power of the anti-life equation, so be it. For I am the Tiger Force that beats at the heart of everything. I wield the power of this. If hope exists, I am the one that will crush it beneath my grasp. Let the champion come. Let the Kryptonian stand before me and fall a second time. So be it. For I am Darkseid, and Darkseid is. And I think has stood up and is now like walking, like standing and waiting for you to arrive.
And Superman does arrive. He lands slowly as he does and walks towards Darkseid. But what's important and different between last time and this one is that Superman is not alone either.
Oh shit.
And I would like to call upon the two separate allies we've set of allies, I guess we've seen. Stage right, we've got Miracle Man, because there's parody, but someone's gonna deal with them. And
Sure.
Stage left is, you're like, wait, who are we waiting for? And then you're gonna hear the music and the engines and the whoop as the our mosh pit loving bohemians who've just been looking for a good fight to channel all that restless energy now have a target.
And I think Darkseid looks scot-free, child of New Genesis, prince of the arrangement between our worlds. Do you truly believe that an escape artist and a gaggle of children can defeat? Boom tube erupts, the Furies emerge out, the most highly trained military unit in the cosmos. Let's see what happens. And
this is literally, I'm going to defeat you with the power of friendship and this gun I found.
It sure is.
Yes.
Which means now we get to hear what the city has to say. City, you're going to tell the hero what they need to hear, name the people they saved, tell them how the hero has helped to make this world a better place, and tell them what they need to hear in order to beat this villain's ass.
Okay. I could do that. Or I could have Lois Lane roll up because this is the Daily Planet, and this is her throne, bitch boy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we did say before that the power core did get left behind. So she shows up, big old fuck off, like bazooka rocket launcher. That's powered by our multi-purpose mother box.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, do you like Darkseid's all like, do you think that you can defeat the most like blah 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 in like the whole galaxy universe, whatever monologue. And then it's just drowned out by the end of that with like just like this white wave of energy comes blasting out. I think like Superman, everyone turns behind, and there's like Lois Lane, who got rocketed backwards just a little bit, frazzled, but holding on to this thing for dear life. Is like she fires it and then she like closes it, and she was like, woo! All right, so I didn't get that story, but Star Labs did manage to make me something pretty interesting with this baby. And then she looks at everyone, it's like, what are you all doing just standing around here? Do I have to do everything myself? Let's go.
And
Superman does the very usual, you heard the lady.
And we cut to a laboratory where like a young woman is sitting watching. She goes, "Hey, Dad, was this the right idea?" And her father, an older black man, puts his hand on her shoulder. I don't know, but I want to see how this suit handles in play. I've got some notes that I think could be really interesting. And we cash back, and yeah, this is Hero, this is your moment to describe how the fight plays out, describe how you fight, describe how you win, and then we will see what happens next.
I think this is a you've got a lot of people here and a lot of passion, a lot of power. This is gonna be a destructive fight. Sorry to the Daily Planet. We'll rebuild your throne, Lois. It's okay. And I think it's gonna be a bigger fight, but Superman now I think there's a moment where Darkseid might be surprised by, not that much should have changed between the last time he punched he disappeared Superman and now, but Superman is being buoyed by the belief of Metropolis, not just in him, but in the city. Superman knows it's not just him fighting this fight. This whole city is fighting this fight. And I think he is, in that moment, the epitome of what he sees as his role, which is, the shield of the public and the city. And it's beautiful, it's big, it's messy. Darkseid probably doesn't like it.
No.
Because, well, monologuing megalomaniacs rarely do love getting shown up. But I think it's a nice little team up. Superman while he's his own guy, he doesn't have an issue, at least this version, he's young, he doesn't have an issue sharing the stage, and everybody's out here having a good time. And I think Superman's proud of the Forever people for, channeling that chaotic energy in a way that's helpful. And
we get a moment. There's a moment where Mr. Miracle is like cornered by Big Barda, and I think like stages a daring escape, and like stages an escape from being cornered. Like she's about to bring the sword down, and he's now just standing behind her, and she's like, "How did you do that?" "Oh, stage secret." And she like smiles for a second, and that's all I'm going to say of that moment. Is just that she smiles, locks eyes with this man, and that maybe realizes that this is the love of her life.
Literally, we have the classic italicized, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And the final beat, if I may.
Yes.
Because there's one other thing that I think, based on where I know our story ended last time, Um, the heroes have dismantled. The Furies have been beaten down. They have finally fled. I think there's a moment where Darkseid orders Barda to strike, and she's like, "No." And she raises her hand and dispatches the Furies, and Darkseid is left alone. But he's still Darkseid,
Yeah.
and so like it is everyone against Darkseid, and Darkseid is holding his own, and it seems really like the tide may turn against Darkseid when, of all things, a shadow flies overhead, and we hear the sound of a jet engine, and a small some smoke bombs are dropped, and your friend from across the lake is standing there. Anything we can do to help?
Fuck it up, Bruce.
It's like, water's warm. Come on in.
I hope you don't mind. I know that inviting other friends is a little gauche, but I've been out meeting some people that I think you might like. We get Diana is here, who we met briefly at the end of the last segment. Comes down and like lays in a huge drop kick onto Apocalypse. There is Apocalypse falls backwards. There is like a tornado of red and gold that spins him up and throws him into the air. Where a giant green punching glove bashes him back into the ground. And Superman, you have the final moment before the Darkseid is permanently defeated, as the Forever People and Mr. Miracle and Batman and the other heroes stand behind you. What's the final moment?
The final moment is like Darkseid probably gets punched and like comes face to face to Superman, and I don't. What is sufficiently cheesy? Superman just says, "I hope you realize the biggest mistake you made here wasn't erasing me from existence, but was daring to believe that this city would lose its hope." And it's just arm rears back and lights out.
Arm rears back, lights out, the boom tube erupts and you hit him. You're faster than his escape via the boom tube, so you punch him into the portal back to Apocalypse, which disappears into the distance, and the city is saved. Which means that now we do our final scenes. We do until next time. We each show one final scene. First, our city. Show us how how Metropolis recovers from the villain's actions, and how the hero's influence makes the city a better place, and how their legacy is carried on in the hearts of the people.
I think now's a great time finally for there to be a statue that's going to get erected in Centennial Park of Superman. But it shouldn't just be of Superman. It should also showcase like the people of Metropolis around him. It doesn't look like he's supporting them. It just looks like he's with them. And they're all like sort of in a similar stance. It's like very clearly like it looks like that it's not just about the savior of Metropolis. It is more of a showcasing of community.
It's like the protectors of Metropolis. And
Yes.
He's just one of them.
Exactly.
So how does the city mourn those it's lost, and the shadow is still cast by the villain, though they are long since defeated? I think that we see Darkseid sitting on his throne on Apocalypse, just like staring at Earth like, this is far from over. This was the first move in a chess game. And there are many pieces yet to be played on the table. And so finally, hero, for an all too brief moment, you are allowed to rest. How do you celebrate your victory, and how do you spend your downtime and pay your respects to those that helped you succeed and those that fell along the way?
I think, well, I feel like Superman's been paying his respects to the city kind of the whole time. So I'm going to focus more on the downtime. And I think after this fight's over, and everything is kind of wrapped up, Superman is going to pull his disappearing act, and a very disheveled Clark is going to emerge. He looks like he's been out, like he's covered in soot and ash and dirt. to Lois, it looks like he was probably out there on the streets fighting just like everybody else, just different streets. And he's gonna find her. I don't know where is she after the denouement, like once Batman and crew have left.
If this is like maybe a day or two later, she might be part of the cleanup effort for the Daily Planet.
Mm-hmm.
And while she's also doing that, of course, she's taking notes for the eventual like big epic Pulitzer Prize winning article that she's about to write about the resistance in Metropolis against Darkseid.
And I think while she's cleaning up, Clark just kind of stands up, like appears next to her. And I just imagine maybe the bottom floor of the Daily Planet was like, there was like a coffee shop and a little like gift store and something. And I think he'll say, I never did get that last coffee from there.
Lois is like turns around and is leaning against a rather crumbling pillar. That sounds like a proposition.
I think Clark's eyebrows go high because panic.
Yeah, this is interesting because for a second, Lois looked a little surprised to see Clark, as if she obviously hasn't seen you in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna say that Clark's gone out of his way to look disheveled. And then you see this expression cross Lois's face as she comes over and she adjusts the glasses that you left slightly askew.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, Clark. And I haven't seen you around for a while. Was worried something happened.
Oh, little old me. No, you don't have to worry. I've been around the corner the whole time.
Yeah, I think you have. So, Flyboy, you want to get that coffee?
Clark does the little collar adjusting. And it's just
because I think there's something you might want to tell me.
Yep.
Yep.
And I think that's game. Hell yeah. I love this so much. I love playing this game with y'all so much. This is always the best. I'm so happy
it's just fanfic.
Yes.
It is, and it's the
we
best.
love fan fiction here.
I know.
Oh, well, thank you so much for both joining me for this game. I so love this, and like I could not be happier with how we got to play this game. This absolutely ruled.
So good.
It's the best every time.
I mean, Marcy and I have said this to you before. Like, we will roll up to play this any day of the week, but
light the beacons.
Yeah.
We will be there.
So the thing is that we've always this is always how, like, this is the one constant of every one of these streams that we've done, is that I sit down to play Anyone Can Wear the Mask in a Superman game. And this year I was like sitting down and I was like, okay, what do I want this to be? And I was like, I was like, there's really only two people that I want to sit down to tell this particular Superman story with at this moment. So I'm so happy that we were able to get this onto the calendar.
Absolutely. And like I said, we'll do it for no reason, for no cameras or stream, but being able to do it for amazing cause and be a part of a fantastic fundraiser, couldn't get here faster.
It's what Superman would do.
It is what Superman would do.
And, yeah.
Real quick before we wrap up, where can people find y'all and your work online? I'll start with Puja.
Like I have mentioned, unfortunately the best place to find me still continues to be Twitter, at least until people pick a place to go. I am at Puja on Twitter. You can also find me at Pujabberwocky on other platforms. In terms of things that I'm up to, you can find me this month on Manapot Studios doing doing a Fights of Fandom fight, and just generally around there. Also, every Saturday you can find me on Total Party Kiss playing Strange Hungers, which is a all queer horror game, which gets very creepy and takes its safety work very seriously. And it's been going on for a while, and I could not be more proud of being able to tell beautiful, queer, terrifying stories. And there are some other fundraisers that I'm going to be helping out in coming down the line, so just keep an eye out on the Twitter feed.
All right, Marcy.
Yeah, well, you can find me most places around the internet, as I said, under the username Experimental Madness. Don't look for me on Twitter. I've never been there. I'm a cryptid on there. But for the most part, you can find me on a variety of shows on Manapot Studios on Twitch, also on YouTube. I'm a part of several past and current Flights of Fandom, which is every Tuesday at 8 p.m. I am also playing From Metropolis to Gotham. I am in our wonderful ongoing Streets of Gotham game that's now currently in its second season. It airs every Monday at 8 p.m. You can also catch up with all of the past episodes on our YouTube channel. Highly recommend if you love superhero stories like the one we just told. You know, maybe it's a little darker, maybe it's a little more intense, but we
have to point out that it's still really queer. For example, in
really
early
queer.
seasons, I wasn't in this current season because I had to get married, but in the previous seasons, I played Harley Quinn's wife. Thank you very much.
What was the name of that character? Just so we can have it on screen.
Manny Quinn.
Great. Incredible. needed formal record of it.
You know, there are several people who I will not name who did not catch on to that for multiple seasons.
Incredible.
It's a good time.
Right.
You should come watch all of that. We're heading into the season finale, so it's a great time to get real feral in the chat with us.
Hey.
I'm also a part of an Invisible Sun stream, The Hole in the World, which is every other Sunday at 4:30 p.m. It's on hiatus, but we're really cool. We're an award-winning cast. What a cool thing that we do. That's wild. Anyway, I'm in too many things. Will I be in more things? Absolutely, because I hate free time. So stay tuned for more. And that's all I've got.
All right. Well, like I said, this has been a fundraiser for the Transgender Legal Defense and Education Fund. You can find links to donate in the chat. You can find QR code and links on screen. Go donate. This is a great way to support a great cause. But for now, I'm going to throw it back over to Jeff in the present so that he can check in with and chat with the audience and do all of his live presentation stuff. Thank you all. Thank you both for playing. This has been so much fun. Thank you all for watching. And Jeff, take it away.